Dragon Show.
Are we
Dragon Show.
Are we talking about Dragon Show?
Dragon Show.
I have bad news, Tom. I've horrible.
You have bad dragon news?
No, I watched the show, but I also watched about a dozen other things this week, and in my review, I accidentally reviewed all of them. So I need you to help me tell me when I talk about something, whether I'm talking about House of the Dragon or something else I watched this week.
That sounds so stupid. Let's do it. Yeah. Hello, everybody. It's us. We're here. Desktop audio is on, and Zach's here.
I am.
Hello. Oh my God. We have so many good people. This is consistently ridiculous. I'm so happy and so excited, and Zach has organized the gimmick today.
I have my phone here with my review of the most recent House of the Dragon episode, except for the last part, which I'm gonna have to improvise.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna be fun because it's the most interesting part to talk about.
Okay.
And my review of I went to a drive-in movie theater. There's like 10 left in America. Maybe less than that.
There's 10 left in America, and 3 of them are within driving distance.
No, one of them closed down.
One of those, no, it's still there.
Okay,
we can take it.
Wait a second.
It's literally up for sale, and I've actually looked up the price.
What's the price?
That's $6 million. I know. That's
God damn it!
You know what's
$4 million?
I can't take out another mortgage.
Oh, you bet! If it was cheaper, I'd buy it.
Yeah. Oh, Rusty's watching the Nicholas Sparks game. Do we like that joke?
Yeah,
I like that joke.
So I went to the drive-in and watched a double feature, and then I did a movie marathon with some of my friends. I also watched various other things.
And I don't know any of the things that you.
No, I had not mentioned any of them.
Talked about yes. Wait, did you watch all the? Thank you, by the way, Duke, for saying that you like my shirt. It means a lot. I don't know. I like your shirt too. It's a good shirt. I had a choice between Kirby shirt and Indiana Jones shirt today, and I went with Kirby shirt. I think I made a good choice.
Yes.
So Zach, you watched all these things, and you put all the reviews in the same document.
Yes.
And it's not, and like we're having, and like we just don't know which is which.
Yeah. So I'm gonna mention things, and you're just gonna have to see like, is that from this episode of House of the Dragon, or are you talking about something else? And you're gonna help me remember. This is also very similar to one of my favorite You Don't Know Jack mini games.
Yeah. Where
it's the little prune who has the old man voice, who can't remember something, so he describes it really poorly. It also reminds me of a game we play called You're All Wrong, but please don't think about how this is completely the exact same thing.
No.
This is a completely new format that has nothing to do with You're All Wrong.
This is legally distinct from the game that Mira legally co-opted.
we called it Poorly Explained Characters, and Mira called it You're All Wrong.
That's extremely true.
And then that's the better name for it. Branding is not my strong suit.
Oh, Viper says I want You're All Wrong back. I have fantastic news about what this stream's gonna be.
So in addition, because this is a call-in one.
Boop! Look at that.
I want you to call in, you to give your review of House of the Dragon or literally anything else you've watched recently, and say it in a way that's ambiguous enough that we might get confused and we have to guess.
Yes.
So if you've got a review of the show, I want you to call in, but I want you to say, this one character, the female lead, she did this thing with political ambitions that I was not a big fan of. You can be more detailed than that, but leave out crucial details. Let us piece it together.
For sure. Zach, these bits are getting more complicated every week.
They are, and I would like to start.
Yeah. Oh, Zach, wait. I want to talk. Hang on. I'm actually going back. I'm turning the lines back off.
Yeah.
So that we can talk about this. Zach, this is a series now. I think this is safe to say. It has been. Jasper, I'm sorry. I shut the line off right
as you were calling.
Right as you were about to start. Zach, I took the Jeopardy.
Yes.
I took the Jeopardy Anytime test.
Yes.
This week. A lot of fun. Very good. I think I did okay. And you've been talking about taking a Jeopardy test for a long time.
It was originally, before I moved to Pennsylvania, it was one of my goals for the year 2022. Then I had the most interesting 2022 that a human being has ever had. And then I didn't end up on my Jeopardy streak that I wanted to be on.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right that I fell off that wagon and I need to get back on it because I've always wanted to be a Jeopardy contestant. So
Yep.
you asked if I would do the anytime test at the end of our season finale stream, and I will.
Yep. So stick around. Zach is going to actually take we can't stream the
actual website.
Yes, we can't stream the content, but I can make jokes while Zach is taking the test.
That is totally allowed. In addition, what we'll do is if you want to help me with my weak points, they are famous pieces of art, rivers and lakes.
Yep.
And actually, honestly, probably like philosophers are pretty bad for me outside of like the three everybody knows.
Sorry, I just have a rivers and lakes that you're used to joke.
That's a
you have to go to more.
Yeah, sorry. And math. I'm bad at math. If you want to give me,
I can help with that.
That's good.
I love
if you in chat and in Discord want to help me with that or give me horribly incorrect information, I won't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, it's great. Okay. All right, Zach, I'm going back over here. I'm turning this on. The lines are now open. Welcome
Jasper,
to the
call
show.
In, same with everybody else.
I assume, that is the correct number, and I called it just a moment ago. It should be good. We have a new voicemail, and I assume it's from Jasper. Oh boy, here we go. Uh-oh.
Here's our first call. The best part is your phone is ringing.
Yes, my phone is ringing. Hang on. Hold on 1 second, please, for me. I need to change it so that we can hear you as well as the folks at home. So please don't say anything to horribly embarrass us.
No problem.
That's
yes, this one, and then this. And can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Welcome to the show. Who do we have?
Jasper.
Welcome,
Hi, Jasper.
Jasper. Hello. How are you?
Well, I was doing better, but then I watched the episode recently, and...
Episode of what? It's supposed to be ambiguous.
You're right. What could it possibly be? What could I possibly be talking about? House of the Dragon. And, I was actually a little late in watching this episode. I was at work. I forgot it was airing, so I watched it the next day. And I heard a lot of discourse, a lot of people saying, this is the worst one yet. I'm just like, oh, come on. There's still the rainy scene. They can't get worse than that.
I've come around to the rainy scene, but I know I there is a scene I have a problem with. I've come around to the rainy scene.
We're going to come back to that.
I have problems with it, but it's not like episode breaking for me anymore, is what I should say. I can still enjoy that episode as a whole, even knowing that's in there. This episode, I think, was brought down a full letter grade by a certain scene.
What? Okay, we're going to talk about
a whole letter. No, it is. Like, I know a lot of people have said previous episodes were like season 8 quality. I never went that far. I never thought there was any moment, even Rainey's. I was like, no, that's season 5 and 6 quality. This final scene, the final scene is the same mind-boggling, imbecilic takes I have ever seen in my entire life. Who thought this was a good idea in any way, shape, or form?
I think you're talking about House of the Dragon.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I'm like
I kind of agree is the funny thing.
I fervently disagree. I'm so excited.
I disagree that this is an episode 8 or season 8 quality. This reminds me very particularly of the delivering the white to Cersei sort of moment.
Hang on. Before we get in, Jasper, why don't you give us like a 1 minute breakdown of the scene for whatever insane people in here haven't watched the episode yet.
Gotcha. So, anyway, skipping over the entirety of the episode until the end, which before this scene, it was okay. I was kind of actually bored, nothing too crazy, but this scene. So, Rhaenyra, for those watching, thinks it's an amazing idea, brilliant even, to sneak into King's Landing herself in order to speak with Alicent, hoping that eventually they can come to an agreement and reach peace. This, on a multitude of levels, is such a take that not even a jester would come up with. I was banging my head against the wall. At least I could understand the logic of getting a white from beyond the wall and showing it to Cersei. There is nothing there. Even in the best case scenario, she does convince Alicent. What the hell is she going to do? She can't do much at this point. She's the queen. She has the same power and influence as Cersei, which was heavily pointed out to be much. It's just.
Well, I can start. Let's take it at face. You know what, Zach? Why don't you go ahead and go first? Give us your take as well.
I'm famous for loving people talking in rooms, but there has to be a plausibility to it, and there has to be a reason for it that, like, you can add some really good tension. We know in that scene that they're not going to have one of them kill each other. They're going to clearly be the main characters throughout. We know that one of them can't be arrested, so there's no tension.
Hold the fucking phone there, bud. We know that, having read the books.
Anybody with an ounce of media literacy knows the two main leading ladies of this show that is about its two main leading ladies meeting in the 3rd episode of the 2nd season probably isn't the end all be all for one of those two characters.
I agree. They're probably not going to die, but there is a risk of capture. Right, we
don't break somebody out. That would have been interesting if they did.
Yeah, yeah. There's an interesting risk to
if they did that.
But I digress. Go ahead.
What I think it cheapens a little bit. Like I made the joke that if Fort Knox existed in House of the Dragon, it would be broken into about every week.
Yeah, I did want to point out that this is now the 3rd episode in a row that has a solid snake sneaking scene.
Yeah. Their security is shit. They're like using Norton antivirus for the city of King's Landing.
Wait, this had 2 sneaking scenes. Daemon also does some sneaking.
Yes, at the very least, when he shows up sneaking, everybody's like, "You could have knocked." We're like, we're cool with you being here. Actually,
it's funny we're talking.
Did you bring
about
a dragon?
This.
That's neat.
That was the dumbest shit of the episode to me.
That was one of my favorite scenes.
We'll come back to that. Let's finish up on this one.
Probably tied for a second favorite scene. The other, the trying to have the two of them resolve it peacefully, it strains like credibility. It makes Rhaenyra seem dumb that she thought it was possible, and she doesn't seem like too emotionally conflicted. Like if she said, "I want to give her one last chance because I still consider her a friend in my heart," and everybody was telling her, like, she was told repeatedly it's a stupid idea, and we see her walk there and walk through the city and realize it was a dumb idea before she gets there, it could have been a powerful scene. But instead, she just shows up, pulls a knife on her, and is like, "So peace?" And I feel like there's a way to do the scene that's better. And again, if Fort Knox existed, if Fort Knox existed in House of the Dragon, they would have no gold. Just it wouldn't exist, and that it does strain credibility a little bit, I think.
I had no problem with it. I thought it was an awesome scene. I thought it was one of my favorites. It was one of my favorites in the whole series.
I gotta say,
it was fucking awesome. The two of them. It was very. We've been talking about this a lot. This season especially.
Yeah.
This very, very Shakespearean. It like this was the moment when the two main characters, and I think that's reasonably fair to say, the two main characters sat down, looked at each other, realized that it's all their fault and they can't fix it.
Yep. Well, I think from an acting perspective, it's incredible. Yeah. It's just that you had to spend a lot of disbelief to get that scene to work out. This is a scene that would have worked great in Star Trek, where they could have had, like, bring up Allison on my screen, send a signal to Allison. Like this is a like scene that is like meant for Gul Dukat and Cisco that somehow ended up in this show.
I don't know, dude. It's and after this, I want to bounce back to you, Jasper. I think this is consistent with Barristan. Barristan escaping the like we talk about this all the time. A simple disguise will get you past a lot. And like Barristan, he leaves King's Landing, doubles back and comes back and just puts on a hood and joins the line of refugees, and just blends in. And I think that the idea that Rhaenyra just joined the lines of like crowded ships flooding in, I don't think that's getting back is gonna suck ass.
Getting back, getting through, like, there's only so many septas there, right? Like, it's not like they have a ton of them. The chance that they notice they have an extra nun today.
That was the one that I thought was the funniest. I was like, all right, she just showed up to work.
Did we have a new coworker? Should I go over and say hi?
I think this is a subplot in the movie The Terminal. All right, Jasper, I'm bouncing back to you. Go ahead and respond.
Well, so I will say, her specifically, the action taken to sneak into King's Landing and the Septa Baelor, obviously possible, because even though it's not Daemon's crime hoodie, she's got her crime nun outfit.
Yeah,
so sneaking in,
she has her crime.
Wearing a hoodie makes you invisible. And if Joe Biden was wearing a hoodie, he could sneak into Mar-a-Lago and like sit down, pull a knife.
Yeah, it's Hitman rules.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Jasper. I'm sorry.
My issue is, first off, while Rhaenyra is not anywhere near my most enjoyed character in the series, I do have enough respect for her for me to believe that this is an exceptional idiotic take. And more so, especially with Alicent, because by the end of it, Alicent just gets up from Rhaenyra, who threatened to kill her, mind you, and just walks off. Presumably, maybe they'll dive into it in the next episode. I highly doubt it, but presumably just lets Rhaenyra with her, I'm assuming, Kingsguard member, that guy with the dagger in his sleeve who like left her at the steps or whatever, presumably just to leave and go home. So like she, by that singular action, dooms all the lives that we are eventually going to lose in this series.
No,
like,
we don't know yet. Is the thing. You go for it.
Yeah, let me pop on this first. That action of Alicent's I don't have a problem with, because in that instance, like Rhaenyra did pull a knife on her, but like from Alicent's perspective, Rhaenyra showed up as a diplomatic envoy, and to arrest her at that moment would be what's the word I'm looking for? Like
dishonorable?
Yeah.
It's not only my take was, if somebody was dressed up as a nun in my church and stuck up and pulled a knife on me and it's my political enemy, I would not assume that if I shouted help that everybody else there wasn't in on it, right? Like, I don't recognize all these people. There is notably at least one other person there to protect Rhaenyra, who, if I start calling for help or if I go to attack or arrest Rhaenyra, is going to come and make sure I don't get out of it as well. When you're not expected to be like accosted, like, you don't know how many other people are here, what are the consequences if I fight back, stuff like that. So I think her just wanting to get away to safety is a completely rational reaction. If she says nothing afterwards, that's insane. If she doesn't tell the Kingsguard immediately, Rhaenyra Targaryen was here. She was here like 5 minutes ago. Scour the entire city. Then I'm going to have a problem with it. But that could be a really good scene. This could be a not great scene that leads to a great scene where they scour the city and then somebody says, "You're telling me Rhaenyra Targaryen rocked up in a boat, dressed up as a septa, pulled a knife on you, tried to sue for peace, you said no, and then she left, and now nobody, not the entire guards of King's Landing, can find neither head nor tail of her. Are you sure that the death of your grandchild isn't messing with you?"
That could significantly damage her credibility.
Yeah,
if it happened, that could be an interesting.
That's what I would do to make this scene feel more impactful. Is stress that it is not like a credible action, and that she's adamant that it happened because it did. She loses credibility.
All right, Jasper, let's bounce back to you.
Rusty says, how many septas are about to be harassed? Oh my god, what if the rat catcher thing's a setup?
Oh my god! What if he kills all the septas?
Yeah, what if it's like, okay, well, we know one of the septas was Rhaenyra, so we're just going to kill all of them. One of them must have been in on it, right?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. We're speculating on future episodes. All right, Jasper, give us one final thought.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, I just have to disagree, especially given into what Alicent's goals are. She wants to end the war with as little bloodshed as possible, and in a way, I think she prioritizes Rhaenyra's safety. And what better way to make sure that granted, they capture her, they're going to execute her, no doubt about it, but that's no different than the war going on and thousands of people die, and best case scenario in that case, Rhaenyra dies in battle or gets killed one way or another. So I don't think it correlates good with Alicent's motivations, and I don't think it correlates well with Rhaenyra's intelligence or Alicent's intelligence. And I have to disagree with her just getting up from Rhaenyra, walking away silently, and not in that scene doing anything to locate the guard. Now, maybe you're right. Maybe in the next episode, we'll see Rhaenyra and that one Kingsguard guy running through the streets of Flea Bottom, dodging guards, trying to get out of here. I highly doubt it. I think in the next episode, we're just going to skip over that, similar to how we don't know what happens, what Alicent did to save Criston after he beat a man to death and pimp slapped the king consort.
Oh, that scene was wild.
Yeah. It
I
feels.
don't know, man. Do you
It feels like okay.
it was a parlay.
It was a parlay deep behind enemy lines.
Yeah, it was a parlay.
In one word, like assassinations have already been like the taboo of like dishonorable acts as well passed.
I'm like I got in here and I didn't stab you. You can do me the courtesy of not stabbing me. You know, I don't know.
And you shouldn't have to ask someone to not stab you. That's polite manners 101. Don't stab them.
I'm gonna get that tattooed.
Like, I'm sorry, dishonorable or not, you pull a knife on me, I'm screaming for help.
Jasper, thank you very much for joining us. Have a good night, okay?
You as well. Be safe. Love your work.
I love this show. That is Jasper from the YouTube channel Jasper Lane, by the way, which is a lot of fun. Strongly recommended.
I really think that they could. I think they will go for a escape from King's Landing direction. Just because if I'm the person who sees how the last script ended, I don't want to pass that up. I don't want to, like, as a writer, the idea of I just tipped off one person who can get the entire city to sleep for me, and I have to get to a boat on the other side of town is such a cool scene. And as a Jackie said, one of Larys's spies catches Rhaenyra.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, eyebrow girl, I think.
I don't know, honestly,
Viper,
dude, I just don't have a problem with it.
Viper, I agree. It's a great emotional scene. It's great acting from the both of them.
Yeah.
I just think that there is a more credible way to get there. I think they took a writing shortcut to get us that scene.
You know what? I will accept that as a legitimate criticism. I think this is very fair. I wonder if there's a cut scene of, like, I don't know. Like, I think about another related parlay is when Tyrion is snuck into the bowels of the Red Keep by Varys.
Yeah.
In, like, maybe season 7 to parlay with Jaime.
If she was like snuck in through a barrel or something like that, or like, you know, if they really like, if it's, especially since there's already been an assassination there, they've already also had their own security scare. If it was escalating in the way they got in, or if another thing that would have sold me on it is if the sept was outside of, like, she went to a sept outside of King's Landing, like she took a carriage ride and we saw that it was like, you know, in Brosby or something like that. I could see security there being more lax. Or if she went to, there's like a tombstone of a family member outside of city limits that she visits or something like that. You can write other things that aren't literally right next door to the White House.
But, like, I don't know. Alicent doesn't have that kind of security. No member
should.
She should, but her sworn shield just got shipped off to war.
Yes.
And we have seen her very the entire season. We have seen her this season and last season. She goes to the sept by herself, and she sits there, and that's what she does. I think that it was it's really like high vis vest and clipboard diplomacy.
Oh, I agree.
know,
there's a version of getting in that is a little bit more plausible. I would just like to, if it was going to be I would like it to be more of a focus of the episode because it is like something you need to be able to chew on and swallow. Just cutting to her, like the boat arriving, and then cutting to her already having done the hard part of getting up to the sept in costume. I would have, yes. We were robbed of a how the hell she got there scene. And even if I think it's implausible from like a logic standpoint, I don't think the characters acted too terribly out of turn. I agree with Jasper, or disagree with Jasper on that. I think that Alicent not wanting to start a fight is perfectly in character because she doesn't know. Somebody snuck into the house and murdered her child. The idea that every single one of those septas is in on the conspiracy is in the back of her head. Even if it wasn't for blood and cheese, she'd be thinking that. And in addition, the shock of your political opponent pulling a knife on you when you go to pray, some people would freak out and some people would shut down. And Alicent is consistently shown as the person who, in like a high stress situation, shuts down. So I don't think that's too terribly implausible.
Zach, please continue to riff. We are getting some we're getting some video issues, and I'll see if I can fix those.
Yeah, I just feel like the scene could have been earned a little bit more with better setup. And I think that's a fair criticism. I think the sneaking around part is the only thing I don't necessarily buy 100%. The conversation they had did not bother me in the slightest.
I thought it was a beautiful conversation. I'm just gonna check with the chat real fast. Is the audio okay, or is it audio and video that are both glitching? All good now? Okay, then we'll try to hop back. Hello, it's me. I'm right here.
Yeah, Jasper, I can see why somebody would just want to get away. As someone who has been in some like seemingly life or death situations, the like I just want to get the hell away aspect.
You're screaming for a rebuttal. All right, Zach, go ahead.
Before that, I want to do one part of our game.
Okay,
we do have a game format.
Yep, we do have a format.
I want to talk about something I watched in the last few days.
Okay.
So, Tom, when this piece of media was announced, the denizens of the internet were completely cynical and derided it as a cash grab. From what I can tell from watching it, though, those people are completely off base. And the people who made this clearly love the franchise and wanted to tell this story.
Okay.
It features a lead character who is torn between her desire to preserve her relationships and her desire to win a victory and become a leader. Inspired heavily by an older female role model.
Okay.
The struggle to do both these things fills her with extreme anxiety.
All right. So, was the new Mad Max movie good or bad?
This was not the new Mad Max.
Damn it! All right, we're going to the lines.
That was my review of Inside Out 2.
Hey! Was Inside Out 2 good?
It was very good.
I missed a call from somebody.
It was very good. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Oh boy. All right, the lines are open. If you would like to call in, you are more than welcome. Zach, tell me more about Inside Out 2 before we get fervent rebuttals on the one scene we've talked about already. Yeah.
It is the greatest hockey movie ever disguised as a Pixar film ever made.
Yeah, this hockey movie Pixar film Dragon Show podcast. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Mira, hello. Welcome to the show. I see you went back in your history and found the number.
I did.
If you missed the gimmick at the beginning, describe a scene that you liked or didn't like, but make it ambiguous enough that you might be describing another piece of media entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to do that, that's fun too, because you can fool us.
We're playing.
It's not technically you're all wrong.
Oh God. Oh, I have to. I don't know if I can do that on the fly.
That's good. That's good if you can. You can just show it in a show. And I want to talk about something that might be House of the Dragon, and then talk about House of the Dragon, and we'll pretend it's ambiguous.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about something that might be House of the Dragon, or it might be Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
So, all right. I will defend to the death the choice to have that conversation between Rhaenyra and Alicent come hell or high water, and I have a very good reason for that.
I agree 100%. I love the conversation.
All right. Give us your defense, Mara, please.
So they have been playing with elements of farce. And so I'm not talking about logistics of King's Landing and Blackwater Bay, which I will get to. But when we talk about subverting expectations, this is what we mean. That so much of the story so far has been built up and predicated on the idea that things could be resolved with a simple conversation, that people who, Rhaenyra and Alicent are both in the grand relative scheme reasonable. They are at least more reasonable than Alicent's sons. So there has been this idea since season 1, episode 9. Everything goes back to season 1, episode 9, which I will also defend to the death. This idea that if Rhaenyra and Alicent were to just clear everything up about the dream, that things would be okay. But they're not.
Yeah, which is just not the case.
Right.
I agree that it was important to demonstrate that even if they both confront the other's propaganda, it's too baked into the regimes they've already built to resolve peacefully. I'm glad we got that scene, 100%.
But I'm sorry, Mira.
But there was so much subtext there because Alicent genuinely believed that Viserys was talking about Aegon. And she was thinking Rhaenyra was being pig-headed and just refusing to believe it, right? But so when she says there was no mistake, Alicent doesn't mean she didn't make a mistake. Alicent means the Greens were going to crown Aegon anyway, because remember, in the Green Council, Alicent makes her announcement, or Otto makes the announcement on her behalf, and Tywin Lannister just says, oh, well, so we shall commence with our long-laid plans. So there was no mistake. It was going to happen regardless. And then it's too late because Alicent has no money. Alicent has no sword. Alicent has no men-at-arms of her own. What the fuck is Alicent going to do now that her sons are out of control, her father is gone, and her fuckboy is worse now?
Yeah.
This is actually one of my favorite inclusions to the that scene in episode 9. I think is one of the strongest things in the entire series.
It's possibly my favorite scene still.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Because like I was not mad, but like I was very like plot confused at the end of episode 8. Because I was like, oh no, is this all gonna hinge on like a Shakespearean misunderstanding?
I was mad about that until I realized the coup is happening anyways.
Yeah.
And they're like, Alicent, you don't need to lie. We were already gonna do the coup.
Yes.
And then she's like, no, he said that. It makes it important for her, and there's a dramatic irony element to it. But the entire plot is not on somebody being like, whoopsie. No, like Otto was like, you thought I wasn't gonna do a coup? I'm Otto fucking Hightower.
That's so sweet, honey. No, I was gonna do a coup.
Yeah, and so like, as far as the logistics, I think a lot of people are still so mentally scarred by Game of Thrones. They are desperately searching for flaws in House of the Dragon. And the thing is, a lot of this has been taken into account. So people criticize Rhaenyra leaving the night, like after that dinner. Dragonstone is at the mouth of Blackwater Bay. Like, you can just go there.
Yeah, it's like a 2-hour flight. It's right there.
Or less. It's probably like a 2-hour boat ride, a 30-minute flight. And the thing is, the bay is all but blockaded. And this is an element of the story that we've seen a lot. We've seen it in the books too, that when you put on a costume, people aren't looking for you. And especially dressed as a septa, nobody has seen Rhaenyra in the city in ages. And so, like, I don't think it was lampshaded. I think Ms. Zarya addressed it head on. You know, it's sort of like if you get into a building with a clipboard and a tie and you just look like you're doing an inspection, you can like cybersecurity people do this to like get into people's mainframes. They just ask somebody to open the door.
They call the name Mr. Hackerman.
Yeah. And so, like, that's not really... And granted, I think this season should have been 10 episodes. And so I think there were a few things here and there that maybe we lost. But I don't
agree.
think...
My complaint specifically is if you're going to have the main character sneaking up to somebody be like an important part of the story, and it can't not be. I want to see the sneaking scene. You can't promise me that she Metal Gear Solided her way across King's Landing and then be like, yeah, but we're not going to show that.
You know, it's funny you say that.
But that's,
oh, go ahead, Mira. I'm
the easy
sorry.
part. That's the easy part. And this is not the sept attached to the castle. This is like the random sept in town. And again, it's a septa walking with a septon, minding their own business, and the city is not besieged yet. Like the issue with Tyrion sneaking into the Red Keep is that you can't disguise Tyrion as anybody but Tyrion, and they didn't even give lip service to that. This Mysaria gave them a way to sneak in, gave Rhaenyra a costume, and gave Rhaenyra the time and way to get in. Like and Daemon was in charge of the gold cloaks. Nobody else, and then Harwin. Who was in charge of the City Watch? Probably one of Aegon's friends or some idiot.
Yeah.
King's Landing has never been more poorly defended.
No, I agree with that. I love seeing my justification on screen. So if they had shown that the new person who's in charge of the gold cloaks is like a complete newbie who doesn't even know what Rhaenyra looks like, and he's like drunk on the job all the time. Okay, they've set up why security is so shit. If we see Rhaenyra sneak and it's like tougher than we think, but she just barely manages to get there, that makes the scene have more of an impact, in my opinion, writing wise. I agree that this is a problem of the season being shorter. If we had a longer season, I feel like we would have got the sneaking scene.
I'm gonna be honest, y'all.
But like we. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm popping to. I popped to a hold screen just for a moment because we're getting some glitches again. But I'm gonna be honest. You guys. I like you say you wished to be able to see the rest of the sneaking scene, and my brain had no problem being like, oh yeah, she Assassin's Creeded, right? Like she was wearing a Septa outfit, she Assassin's Creeded right into that group of Septas. I was like,
I'm sorry.
I was so in.
Well,
you have a multi-million-dollar budget for each episode. If you don't film the Assassin's Creed scene, that's on you as a filmmaker.
But well, are we back on? I don't know if we're still good.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
There's something really important. Rhaenyra is not good at sneaking. If you watch it again, watch her body language. Emma Darcy is a phenomenal actor.
I was yelling about this during the thing. I was like, why are you making eye contact with everyone? Rhaenyra, you have to look down, please.
Follow Hitman rules, goddammit.
And the way Rhaenyra is holding her hands, and so it's one of those. In some ways, it would have been really painful to watch. I think the reason she was able to do it was for exactly the reason Mysaria said, that people aren't going to be looking at you unless you call attention to yourself. Like, people look at you when you're the queen because you dress like the queen. Like, put on something plain and mind your own business and nobody will look twice at you. And as far as her joining the group of septas, I think it was actually the night that she was with, because a septa alone, unaccompanied, behaving like that would have called attention to herself. But nobody is going to question a woman accompanied by a man, because everybody assumes that the man knows what he's doing.
I would like, and we can, I'll say this, and then I'd love to hear your final points, Mira. This reminds me of one of the principles of sneaking into places, which I have done a time or two in Minecraft. And one of the principles is be holding a chair. No one will ever question you if you're holding a chair. If you're holding a chair and you try to walk past anyone, they will say...
They'll open the door.
Yes. They will not say, where are you going? They will say, hey, can I get the door for you?
It all works. No.
And that man, her fellow Kingsguard, is her chair. in that
Yeah.
scenario.
I feel like
Yeah.
if she was slipping in through a crowd, if we saw her like go through a crowd of like septas,
She
we'd
did.
love
She
to
slipped into that like
There- okay.
quartet.
But that
there's a
was like
few.
right at the
I would
very
love to see.
end.
I would love to see like a more elaborate sneaking scene. I don't think that's too unjustifiable of a take.
We'll come back to that when we talk about about Daemon's sneaking scene. Mira, give us.
I like
give us your-
Daemon's sneaking
Give us
scene.
your final thoughts, please.
Yeah, well, and so as far as Rhaenyra leaving, it's I don't think it needs an explanation. I think it's pretty obvious. It's sort of like with the I don't know who started it with season 1, episode 5. Everybody's freaking out about Kristen not getting punished. Like, it's pretty obvious. We get a scene like almost immediately after with Kristen and Alicent, and Alicent is Kristen's vessel of forgiveness, right? They've done this before. And so no one is going to question a king's, and actually I think I went into a whole thing about like why the Velaryons wouldn't press a case against Kristen Cole, because it would call attention to the fact that Laenor is gay.
Yeah, I believe
That-
you and we talked about this at length. That
Yeah.
them intentionally not discussing it is politically advantageous.
Even if they are literally pissed about it, there's no reason to make this a drawn out political fight. I agree with that.
Right.
I don't think the
Well,
nitpicking there is. I think this is more of a. I don't think this is a world-shattering thing. I think this is a problem of the expedited schedule more so than. I think I can think of a dozen ways to justify a scene like that. They just didn't shoot one of the dozen justifications for me, the audience.
well, but so like as far as it ending and like Alicent not calling the alarms on her, like to me, it didn't even occur to me, because again,
Wait.
Alicent would be called into question. People are already looking at her and calling her a Rhaenyra sympathizer. People are already blaming her for letting her get away. So if Alicent blows the whistle on Rhaenyra now, it's like, well, what were you doing with Rhaenyra, Alicent? Like, what espionage were you committing? Like, her sons have already kind of turned against her.
What a great take! Hang on, let me.
That is a phenomenal take. It would also be a phenomenal scene.
Yeah, and I imagine that a scene like that we will see later, because this can't be.
Yeah.
And Mira, I'd love to hear your thought on this. This can't be the last time we talk about this scene. Like the show talks about the scene, and I imagine that's going to come through either Larys or probably just Larys, frankly. Where
Larys could opine about it.
Where Larys is
because we're gathering our stack of things that Larys is going to be and has been leveraging against Alicent. So Alicent feels guilty for the deaths of Lionel and Harwin. Alicent has been sleeping with Kristen Cole, and she knows that Larys knows. And now she's met with Rhaenyra. So I absolutely think like somebody saw, and Larys might even say, like, oh, did you think nobody was going to notice, like, the septa who didn't know how to walk right, who was, like, way taller than everybody? So I guess, like, Alicent has always been don't make waves, don't rock the boat. And this was her best friend, and she was wrong. And also, Alicent doesn't know how many people Rhaenyra might have brought with her. Like, what if she brought all of her Kingsguard dressed up as Septons? You know?
No, that was exactly what my thought was. Somebody just pulled a knife on me that was disguised as a nun. I don't want to ask any nun for help for a week.
How do you disguise a knife as a nun?
Thank
Mira, thank you very much for joining us.
you guys.
Thank you,
Bye.
Bye.
Mira, to your point, if we get a scene where Alicent is called out for this in one way or another, and we get some sort of escape from King's Landing scene with Rhaenyra, this forgives all of my complaints. My only concerns are, how will this impact the story, and can I get a really cool sneaking scene with Rhaenyra? It seems like you had the ultimate opportunity to have the functionally main character do like some Assassin's Creed Hitman Metal Gear Solid shit.
Yes. But we spent our Hitman scene on
Daemon.
On Daemon this
which
episode.
was not as satisfying as it could have been. But I do want to say, what's the interesting part of Joe Biden in Mar-a-Lago pulling a knife on Donald Trump? It's not the conversation they have. It's how he got there in the fucking first place.
Well, this video just got recategorized.
Now listen here, Jack.
Puts on sunglasses. Anyway,
I'm done with this malarkey. You hear me?
I think that my final thought on this, like, genuinely, is I have no problem. I have basically zero problems with that scene. It was great.
This does remember.
Mir's apologizing for yelling, and no, that was fantastic, and I had a great
Why,
time.
Mir, why do you think we have a call-in show? This is our organized yelling session. Whether positive or negative, this is our organized yelling session.
Okay. Hang on. Let me go back through some of the comments while you're getting your next thing.
I have it ready, but let's read some of the comments.
Viper says it reminds me of the how Melisandre describes glamour working in the books. Hang on. Where glamour is made stronger by an object or costume of importance when Mance wears Rattleshirt's bones, for example. Yeah, absolutely. Right. It's the same principle as Varys' disguises.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and then Jackie responds, that's exactly what Varys does. Jackie also says, we did see the Kingsguard idiots, and I think that that's a great point.
We did see the
oh boy,
Kingsguard.
we're getting calls. Hold on one moment.
Welcome on board. You're gonna play along with Tom, whoever's calling.
Hello, welcome to the show. Zach is going to read us a thing in just a moment, but who do we have?
What's up, boys? It's Jack.
It's Jack. Hello, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm sorry to the person that tried to call in at the same time. Call again in a minute.
In just a minute.
All right, Zach, go ahead.
To the both of you, I'm gonna read this review I wrote of some piece of media I experienced this week.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was ridiculous that nobody in what should be easily one of the most secure places on the planet was able to recognize such a conspicuous figure in a paper-thin costume. The fact that two characters with a storied history were able to have a face-to-face confrontation is hard for me to believe. Also, how did they travel that fast? What is this a review of?
Jack, I have a guess if you have a guess.
I did not catch the last part. What was the question at the end? I heard the rest.
Also, how did they travel that fast?
Yeah. Dragonback kind of makes sense, but where's the dragon now? And then there was another guy too, so I don't know.
All right, Zach.
What's this a review of, Tom?
Zach, it's interesting to me that you had never seen the 1993 film Aladdin before. How did you enjoy it?
That's a pretty good guess. Actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now I know the answer.
No, the answer is the Hitman Blood Money Mission Amendment 25, where Agent 47 sneaks into the White House and assassinates people there.
Zach, will you please stop recategorizing our streams?
It's
Jack, welcome to the show.
Sorry to fictional character Mark Parcheesi.
Give us your Dragon Show takes.
I joined the call a little late here, gentlemen, or the stream, but has anyone talked about Daemon yet?
No, we were just about to.
Yeah, we were just about to get onto that. Please, why don't you give us a brief description of what the scene you want to talk about, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I thought it was good. The flashback with I don't know if it was a dream, obviously, like a Weirwood dream.
Yeah, dude. This is the thing. I've wanted to fucking talk about this for 2 days. Yes, go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, well, first of all, we did see a Weirwood in season 1, the King's Landing Weirwood. Then I don't know if they showed one up north whenever we went up there, but I loved how it actually looked like how I imagined it would look from the books. I don't really remember how Harrenhal's Weirwood was described, but I liked that it was on the water, and then you saw how it like tangled and like weaved and like it just looked different than how a Game of Thrones Weirwood looked, and it actually looked a lot more like books. So I thought that was really cool. And then Dream was also interesting, and you got to see Daemon show a little remorse there, or like I don't know if it was remorse or probably that regret, and like you just saw an emotional side from him. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I think these are great takes. Zach, do you want to take the Dream or the Weirwood?
they're kind of hand in hand, right? I'll take the weirwood.
All right.
Finding out the logistics of how Harrenhal looks and is built, and the fact that weirwood is entangled in it, adds so much that we never could have possibly. If somebody guessed that and just said that, like, on like the Song of Ice and Fire Reddit or one of our comments, we would have said, "Oh, that's neat," but we don't have any evidence of that. Now we have confirmation of that, and this is game changing because now we know one of the most haunted magical places has a tree that canonically makes you dream about things that are painful, and like no wonder people think they're ghosts in Harrenhal. There probably are.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh,
Or at the
wow.
very least, you can see the people who have been important in your life. Jenny is dancing with her ghosts in Harrenhal
Yeah,
because she can see them.
Jenny's dancing with her ghosts in the next room.
Yes, and then when you think of everything that happens in Harrenhal previously, like this place is burned. People are burned alive here. Like we might get visions of that. We might get visions too. And also, fun thought here. What if the reason his uncle is Laris's uncle is so confident he did it is because it was revealed to him in a dream, but like for real? He can't
That's
say
awesome.
it to he can't say it to Daemon because he'll sound crazy, but like he watched his family members die and saw how Laris set it up because Harrenhal's weirwood showed it to him.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. Like you were saying, the ghosts of Harrenhal are actual. Like that's real. That's not just something people say. That's really cool. I hadn't even thought of that.
Yo, dude, that fucking rocks, Zach. Hang on. All right, I want to respond to this, then I want to bounce back to Jack, and then I want to go to the next.
Yeah, specifically, Jenny of Oldstones gets played at Harrenhal. I know it's not about Harrenhal. It's technically about Oldstones, I think, because that's also a ruined city. And she died at Summerhall, obviously. But like we get that song heavily associated with the Brotherhood Without Banners, who are orbiting around the general Harrenhal area.
All right, Jack, do you want to respond to this like general like Harrenhal construction bit before I jump onto the dreams?
Sure. Just the one thing would be that we got to see it, like the aerial shot of Harrenhal from the dragon, and it looked a little smaller than how I thought it would look from the books and even from a Game of Thrones when Tywin was there. I thought it was a lot better. I don't know. It looks cooler, I guess, than how a Game of Thrones did it. From the aerial shot and the big towers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the way that Game of Thrones did it too. It looked a lot more destroyed with the Tywin scenes, but then like the way the water was dripping down, it was very different. It looked different to me, and I kind of like both of them.
Yeah, it looks like a different castle. I think that I don't think I really like the way that it's depicted in House of the Dragon. Because that it seems more, I don't know, like more realistically constructed now. Not that I didn't like the Game of Thrones construction. I thought it was really cool. But I thought this one was like this is an actual building that I could actually explore, which is a really cool feeling.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was the most interesting setting we've got so far. It feels properly like different. Like just the setting itself adds a new dimension to the story that was not there before. And getting some old gods presence there, and like we have a witch too. We have somebody with magic powers.
We'll come back to that.
Yes,
We'll come back to that because that pissed me off. We'll come back to Alice. Alice Rivers pissed me off, but first I want to talk about the dreams.
Also, I will die on the hill that we're supposed to. I know Jenny of Oldstones is not about Harrenhal. George has made it so we're supposed to think about them in the same context. I will die on this hill. It's highly associated with the Brotherhood of Banners, who are about like the insane revenge cycle that Harrenhal is supposed to represent. Which it's supposed to represent the ruins that war brings, and that song is also about somebody in ruins, reminiscing about all the dead. They're thematically very similar. We'll fight about this in another live stream.
But which hill is it, Missy's or Barba's?
Barba's.
Okay, fine. Jack, I want to talk very briefly about this.
The Shining.
This fucking dream. All right, I thought we got the last of the scary, trippy dragon dreams, in 2012. I thought was the last time we were gonna get him, and I lost my fucking mind because in the dream it really played like it was a legitimate like it played like this was really happening. And I actually like physically recoiled from the sudden. Is it Millie Alcock? Like I physically recoiled in my seat. I was like, "Oh no!" when she showed up on screen, and then he snaps out of it. I think he snaps out of it in like staring at the weirwood, and then Alice Rivers appears behind him and is like, "You're gonna die here."
Yeah.
And I was like, I was losing my shit. It was amazing.
By the way, spoilers. I was gonna watch the show to find that out. Goodness, now I know.
I had no idea.
Jack, give me one more thought.
Oh, well, you said it was a dragon dream. There's a difference between the dragon and the weirwood dreams.
This is true.
Also, from the book series, The Song of Ice and Fire, Jamie, there's several weirwood. I don't know about several, but there's a couple different. They mention weirwoods in the Riverlands specifically. There's where Brienne is. There's that like circle of weirwoods. I think that's in the Riverlands. Jamie has his dream right after he gets his hand cut off, sleeping on the weirwood.
Yeah,
we didn't really ever see weirwoods in the Riverlands in Game of Thrones. So that was cool because I always thought that they were the northern gods. They're the gods of the first men. The Riverlands had first men for a long time. I don't know. I don't think the Tullys are first men, but
wait, I thought it was
really
Bran.
There's an argument that Bran is the old gods, but Bran is also the weirwoods, and the weirwoods are also Bran, and they're all one weird connected thing. That's also the argument this channel sort of takes.
But which one is the God's Eye?
Yes.
Okay. Jack, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you so much.
Have a great
have a
night.
good one, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I fucking love this show.
As do I.
This is the best thing we do, dude. We gotta do this more.
What was I gonna say?
Bonk.
The
We are live, by the way.
By the way,
lines are open.
The existence of a massive sprawling weirwood at Harrenhal legitimizes even more the theory that we have that's about to air this weekend.
We're very excited, people. Hello, you are on air. Who do we have?
This is Julie. Hi.
Julie, welcome to the show.
Julie, I'm going to have you guess whether I'm reviewing the show with Tom. Let's do this every time somebody calls in to give it a flow.
Zach's very committed to this bit.
I am. It's a fun bit.
It is a good bit.
This piece of media passed the Bechdel test with flying colors with a conversation where agency and motherhood are major themes. It's probably the best scene in this particular piece of media.
Mm-hmm.
We learn a ton about the characters as they discuss the situation at hand without either of them needing to directly state characteristics about themselves. What's this a review of?
Julie, do you want to take this first, or would you like me to?
You go ahead. I got nothing.
Sure. Zach, I see you finally got around to watching The Handmaid's Tale.
No. That is a review of this episode, specifically.
God damn it!
The scene
Rude.
where with Rhaenyra sending the kids away.
God damn it!
That is the you need to watch over my kids scene. I thought was one of the best conversations we got in the entire show.
Wait, I'm sorry, that does not pass the Bechdel test. They are strictly speaking talking about her son.
They talk about themselves also.
Yes, but wait, doesn't it need to go through the whole conversation?
You can have a meandering conversation as long as something that is not specifically a man is mentioned.
In the comments below, just have a conversation. Julie, thank you very much for calling in. Give us your Dragon Show takes.
I was excited to see more of the Blackwoods and Brackens. Always makes me happy as a book fan.
I'd like to bounce off that because we haven't actually talked about the opening of this of the episode yet. The episode is called The Burning Mill, and it opens on this like measuring contest opening between these like Knights of Summer style assholes on both sides.
I named multiple political candidates. You can say Dick.
Fine. And then like we smash cut to this scene of desolation. And I've been seeing people complaining, and Julie, I want your thoughts on this. I've been seeing people complaining that we didn't show the battle, that we just got the aftermath. How do you feel about that?
I feel like the whole scene was the Brackens and Blackwoods continuing to be just the thematic core of A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
Like, the battle doesn't matter. The point is they got mad over very little, and and it ends with everyone dead and everyone sad, and it's disgusting. And I think there's a raven there probably.
I assume there's ravens. It would be thematically appropriate for there to be ravens.
You're right, Mira. We don't know if that passes the Bechdel test until the eggs hatch.
Zach, how dare you?
Sorry to interrupt. I agree 100% that I thought it was a good decision to cut. Honestly, if they had held on that shot a little bit longer, just like the aftermath is what's important. A really cool battle there, not necessarily. Just showing, like, I'm glad we got a pan out to see the desolation. I wouldn't have mind if they like did a couple close-ups or held on it a little bit longer so we could see like people barely alive, watch like the burning mill like collapse or something like that. The aftermath was really good. It was a beautiful shot. But you can linger in the like pain of it a little bit longer. That's probably what I would have done, but that's just saying I like the scene so much I wish there were more of it, which is always a good complaint to have.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I do want to like just from a filmmaking perspective, I wholeheartedly respect the decision to not show the battle and to save your dragon show money for things that might happen later this season. All right, Julie, we're passing back to you.
I want to comment again on how the Blackwoods and Brackens break my heart, and they also make me laugh my ass off constantly. And I'm oscillating violently between the two of them. Just like, you are so stupid, and it hurts.
Have you considered the Brackens started it and have it coming?
That is a thing that sticks with me a lot, is that every time I think about them, I'm like, this is all about cycle of violence. But every time I also dig into it, I'm like, is it also just the Brackens' fault every time?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely less cool, that's for sure. I think that this bleeds in really nicely to what Rhaenys was saying later in the episode. And pardon me for paraphrasing, something to the effect of sooner or later, no one will remember or care why the war started. They will only remember the desolation.
Absolutely.
And I think that on that happy note, Julie, thank you very much for calling in. Do you have any final thoughts?
Death to the Blackwoods.
Got him! Yes! Screw them all! Let's go Smallfolk! Yes! Team Smallfolk! Yeah! Thank you, Julie. Have a great night.
Good night.
Yeah. We got great people.
We do.
Yeah, we got great people. I like this a lot. Holy shit. All right. I mean, the lines are back open.
There.
Holy shit.
Tom, I'm going to feed you one more.
Quick. Let's go. Let's go.
With a whirlwind of the beginning and so much going on, I was surprised at the ability to tell a cohesive feminist narrative in a piece of media usually known for gratuitous nudity and gratuitous violence. The third act, which involves a quiet talking scene between two women and someone pulling a knife on another person before presumably traveling a great distance, really helped me understand the message of the entire work. The work is about our leading woman character losing and trying to regain her agency. I went in expecting it to be okay, but I walked out thinking it might be a perfect 10 out of 10.
Hello, you are on the air. Give me just one moment as I say to Zach, I'm really glad that you're working your way through the King's Quest franchise.
No. That is my review of Paul Verhoeven's Showgirls.
Thank you very much. You're on air. Who do we have?
Hello, it's Viper.
Viper!
Hello,
Viper! Viper, I would like to personally apologize for bumping our bumping our recording today.
Oh, no worries.
I was at home laying pipe, and
You usually don't do that at home.
and this is not even a bit.
This is fair. Okay, so I'll admit when you and Zach introduced the bit at the beginning of this stream, I thought that we were the ones who were supposed to do the bit. So I have one.
You are supposed to.
Really...
It's just that everybody else was they had their arguments prepared since the episode aired, and they were not able to prepare for the gimmick.
Yeah.
You're the first person
got
prepared.
You. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I think my favorite scene of this piece of media was where one of the characters walked into a haunted castle in the rain, only to see someone who should be dead be put back together by someone they will have sexual relations with and is also singing, before realizing that this place is trippy and doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Did they do the time warp again?
Yeah!
Let's go!
I love Rocky Horror.
Oh, from way downtown.
For a second, until somebody had sex, I thought it was Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, I was also on Luigi's Mansion.
And I was like, I don't remember the gratuitous sex scene in Luigi's Mansion, but maybe I need to replay
I
it.
was trying to work it in. I was like, are you implying that like King Boo and Luigi have a relationship? Because we didn't say that they have it on screen. It said they will have sexual relations.
Yeah, it could just be in your fanfic.
Yeah. All right, Viper. Thank you very much for calling in. Give us your Dragon Show takes.
All right, my Dragon Show takes. I know I can't say this every single episode, but that might have been my favorite of the season.
I'm with you. I'm actually really with you. I really liked it.
I think if we got more of that Harrenhal scene and one Rhaenyra sneaking shot, I could be in the same game.
No, damn it. See, the problem with your bit here, Zach, is I actually want to rant about the episode.
You actually want to rant about the episode?
Yes. And Viper, I'm going to involve you in this one, okay? Here's my problem with the Harrenhal scene.
Okay.
It's dumb as shit.
I disagree.
Okay. Here's the plot problems, okay?
Yeah.
Daemon, on Dragonback, goes to Harrenhal.
Yeah.
There are staff on the walls at Harrenhal.
Yes.
Daemon lands. Daemon dismounts alone and walks into an enemy castle held by the political advisor of his opponent as like one guy.
To be fair,
why?
if there's any character they've set up as going on insane suicide missions is just like his thing, it's Daemon. He fought the crab feeder for shits and giggles.
Damn
He
it.
could have burned him alive.
That's really hard to argue with. Shit.
My problem with that with Rhaenyra is I would either like to see like a really good sneaking scene or that's not the character to do it. Daemon going on a suicidally dumb mission is like a free space for the character of Daemon.
Duke says, but it's raining, Tom. Viper, your thoughts?
Hi. For that scene, yeah, like when I was watching it, I did kind of think it was kind of silly, but then I just thought, it's Daemon doing Daemon things. And I think Lord Simon's response to that, Lord Simon's response kind of made sense because he said that, Larys essentially killed Larys killed, I'm getting my names mixed up. Larys killed Harwin and what's his face? Lionel. And that's why Simon's like, yeah, no, of course, I'm going to side with Rhaenyra.
Yeah. I loved that scene.
Interesting.
I loved everything after the end of the sneaking scene.
Well, he's like playing a really smart position to just surrender to whoever shows up first. Like, he has a reason to hate
Yeah,
Laris.
yeah.
If Laris shows up, he has a reason to not die. So,
Yeah.
like, I think he played it perfectly. Daemon wanted to fight and was really pissed when he got dinner instead.
Exactly.
All right, Viper, do you have any other? Give us another scene that you're fond of.
Oh my God, a Moon Dancer.
Oh, hell yeah! Oh my god, Moon
Moon
Dancer
Dancer.
strafing run! Let's
Yeah.
fucking go!
I love that scene.
Yeah, I love Moon
People were
Dancer so
complaining
much.
about
And
that
like,
one.
People were complaining? Hold on, we'll come to the complaints in a second.
What?
Viper, tell us why it was awesome. Because that's the correct position.
It was awesome.
yeah, no, I love Moon Dancer's design. In one of the interviews, Ryan Condal said that one of the design inspirations for Moon Dancer was David Bowie, and I cannot unsee it.
What? Hold on, I have to rewatch
What?
that scene now.
Zach Riff.
You're looking up David Bowie.
No,
on
I
the
am.
answer?
I am.
Moon Dancer looks like Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah, okay, you have to look up Ziggy Stardust. That is important.
I know what Ziggy Stardust looks like. you
Yeah, oh,
nerd.
look,
Has someone already done this?
Oh, you're
Oh,
totally
damn it.
right.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Oh,
like the
shit.
sprite.
that's totally David Bowie's
Oh,
The Dragon.
shit. That is,
Like
this
the
dragon
sprite.
is very Bowie coded.
I guess I have a
Yes,
favorite dragon.
I can't
for now.
unsee it. It's my
Moon Dancer
favorite dragon now.
has to be my favorite dragon now that he's David Bowie.
Yes. Correct.
Okay. Well, we've learned something today.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn it. Yeah, no, fine. Oh, yeah, that is very... Oh, it even has, like, the Moon Dancer has, like, the fucking shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good.
It's not technically not Bowie's first Sona. It's the scale Sona.
Sure. Yeah. We'll give you that.
What do we have? I'm so excited for Moon Dancer to come out singing all the songs from Labyrinth.
Yeah. But
We
also,
will
like,
get a performance of Ashes to Ashes.
Yeah.
All right. And this will be the last thing that we chat about. Then we'll let you go. I want to talk about that scene. Rhaenyra, I think, is not happy with. Is that Bela or Rhaena?
I keep not.
Rhaenyra's not happy with Bela.
Bela.
Bela, who
That's
writes
Bela.
Moon Dancer.
Because she went on a strafing run, basically,
Yeah.
and she was like, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
But like, I think that was a phenomenal political decision.
No, yeah,
Right.
right. She can get close to see who they are. And the worst case scenario is you scared them. The best case scenario is you find a valuable target and either get information about their location or kill them. I think that from a like young person with a powerful weapon perspective, that is exactly like people said. Why is she just doing a strafing run? And people like horses that could be anybody. It's a teenager with a fucking B-52 bomber. Do you think they're not going
And
to
it
fly
sounds
over
like-
people?
Yeah, it shows like that she has a little bit of like Daemon in her as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there life on Mars? Viper, thank you very much for calling in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a great time.
Have a
Thank
great
you for
night.
having
Bye-bye.
me.
Good night, bye.
Oh, I didn't mean to hang up in the middle of this sentence. Oh my
Bowie
god.
Dragon.
That is Viper from Zach Riff. I'm gonna go find the YouTube channel.
Oh goodness. I was on it. I should remember this. Anyways, the David Bowie fact is gonna stick with me forever. I'm not gonna be able to unsee it. I hope we get like a dozen more Moon Dancer scenes this season.
Oh, of course. It's Viper from Viper's Quartet.
Yes.
Which we might be on.
We might be on very soon.
We might be on.
I might have been on already.
Might be on. Strongly recommended. Oh, and of course that was Mira from Mira Reads. But if you're not already
Yes.
subscribed to her, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
So we have more scenes to go through. I want to talk about. This is one of the things that made me laugh the hardest. This episode was pretty funny.
I know. It has an airplane joke in it.
It does.
Yeah. When Daemon says he's gonna press and take the throne, he
He says, "Don't call me the throne."
he says this the Castellan of Harrenhal says, "The throne," and he says, "It's a chair made of swords."
Yeah, it's the big chair
Yeah,
made of
it's
swords. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an airplane joke.
Oh, man,
That's the what's a hospital? No, sorry. We need to get this man to a hospital. A hospital? It's a big building with people in it.
Yeah.
That's not important right now.
Holy shit. I think the single funniest scene.
You ever been to a Dornish prison?
Zach, I think the funniest thing that happened this episode was Aegon's frat bros.
Oh,
my
yes.
God. I fucking hate them.
Oh.
This, like, it's always sunny ass pile of bullshit. They're so fucking, such funny. Hang on, let me get
Yes, no. Sorry, I have more humor that I found in that.
Yeah,
too.
it was, where, Aegon has just appointed them as members of the Kingsguard. And they're, like, standing in the corner. And they're like, so we're gonna go take Jon out and we're gonna get him laid. And Aegon is like, you just took oaths of chastity. And they're like, oh, of course. I'm sorry, Your Grace. Excuse me. And Aegon, like, gives them one of... And they stop laughing. We hold on them for, like, a full 5 seconds as they realize what the fuck just happened. Of course, Your Grace. Of course. And they, like, fucking looked. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen. It was amazing. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I love that scene. Also, when they go to the bar later,
Yeah.
you get one of those classic person is saying something when music cuts out at the club jokes in a fantasy setting.
Yes! Yes!
That's impressive.
It was an actual, like, person walks into the saloon and the music cuts. It was amazing. It was
He's saying something that is, like, suicidal if a Targaryen king hears it. And the Targaryen king walks in and everybody shuts up.
They actually did he's standing right behind me, isn't it? It's amazing.
Yes.
We haven't even talked about all the dick this episode.
There was a lot of
There's so much dick this episode, Zach. Oh my god. Yo, Aemond is fucking ripped though.
He is ripped.
My god.
I do want to.
Aemond saying any whore is like any other. Made me really actually sad.
Yeah, because they're bullying him for having a favorite
Yeah,
prostitute.
they're bullying him for having like a problematic relationship, but also still a relationship.
He's shaying himself. Oh, is that a setup for later?
Oh, where they like where he finds her in Aegon's bed?
That could be a possibility, but also like this is set up that he like Tyrion, well in the show Tyrion and Shay actually did have a romance. In the books it's very clear he's getting played. But
I don't think it's very clear. But
if you go wearing that lens, yes.
I will suspend. If you go wearing any lens, if you go in wearing the Quentin is alive lens, it's very clearly set up.
Why are you treating that like an argument? That's just true.
Damn it. All right, Zach, give us another bit.
Here's a review.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. Oh my god, we've missed so many calls.
We did.
Oh shit. Okay, hang on. We're going this, and then their lines are open.
I'm gonna give you this review I wrote.
Okay, fast as you can.
An insane, violent sociopath who clearly wants to become a king confronted a confused old man in a scene that made me incredibly nervous. The old man repeatedly tripped over his words and had to correct himself, but the violent sociopath seemed more focused on gaining as much power as possible. The entire viewing experience was depressing, and after the final segment, I hope that a certain white-haired leader reconsiders their ambitions in the near future.
Zach, I thought you had watched Star Wars Episode 5.
No, this is a presidential debate.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Who do we have?
This is Ethan from Cincinnati.
Ethan,
Hi,
thank
Ethan.
you very much for calling. I'm sorry, Zach told a joke and I thought it was really
That
funny.
might be the best joke I have made in a hot minute.
It's pretty far up.
I
might be
caught
the
the
entire
first
reason for this
half of
game.
it.
Ethan, you got the first half of it?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh my god. The punchline was great. We agreed, it's a joke we agreed not to make, but that doesn't mean it's not funny. Ethan, give us your Dragon Show takes. Holy shit.
I think it's pretty, I don't know if you guys already talked about this, but I think it's getting more and more apparent that Rhaena might be replacing Nettles, even though that's not what we want to happen.
Yep. Staying away from overt spoilers. I think that you may be absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Yep. She is becoming militarily involved, where she isn't to nearly the same degree in the books. Her relationship with her sister and her family and Daemon are being explored.
And you can't forget that she is Daemon's daughter. I mean, that is an important part of her character, and I think it was nice to see her walking in on the aftermath of his fight with Rhaenyra and seeing all the flowers on the floor and being concerned, because that is her family. But I have a more complicated prediction for her role. But if we want to stay on topic, I wonder if the tavern sex worker, I'm not sure if she has a name in the show, that Aemon was laying with. I'm wondering if she is supposed to replace the person, the female bastard of Harrenhal, who in the books he lays with.
Oh, okay. Now this is a very interesting question.
There is a girl that he was infatuated with. I'm wondering if this is the replacement of that.
Okay, let's talk about this, because I'm pretty, and Zach, I'll pass to you in just a moment. Let me muse on this for just a second, because I'm pretty sure we met the person this episode who is that person, like, originally. Alice Rivers, I think, is the scary.
Alice Rivers, yes.
Yeah. I think that's the scary lady that Daemon met at.
Oh, it has to be.
Yes. Yes. But I think I think her name is Sylvie. Sylvie is the name of the person that Daemon is in, like, kind of a relationship with.
Right, Sylvie. Aegon says it.
Hang on, but I think this is a really interesting position. That she is taking on, like, a lot of the, I don't know, the, like, emotional satisfaction that Aemon is supposed to have gotten from Alice. He seems to be getting that from Sylvie. So I would like to make a prediction that if things come to pass in such a fashion that we think that they will, Aemon might think he sees Sylvie again later. What do you guys think of that?
I have a different take.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I think he's going to realize that, like, what he has with Sylvie is, like, deeply problematic because he's paying for emotional connection, and because he's, like, seeking something. I think that this is getting kind of into spoiler territory, but we know that Alice Rivers can see the future. This has been established in this episode, so it's not too spoilery.
Yeah, and also in the, like, flippin', like, ancillary stuff from the directors and crew, which I want to rant about later, but go ahead.
I think that he might meet her and think that, like, she's into him because she's seen the future and knows that she ends up with him. And she's like, she has foreseen that they will have a relationship.
Goddamn time travel bullshit.
It's like it's like falling in love with Merlin.
Right.
Shit. Damn it. That's.
Or
this is a justifiable
Arthur...
position, but it requires time travel, and I don't want to have that conversation at 11:30 at night.
If you want to hear more about problematic time travel relationships, watch our next episode when it comes out.
Yeah.
When you said Merlin, I immediately thought of Arthur laying with Morgan Le Fay, and Morgan Le Fay being a sort of a witch
sort of character and being able to see the future.
Ooh, that's a very fun comparison to make. Ooh. Yeah.
Do you guys think, I've got a question for you guys. Do you think when Daemon was roaming the halls in that really creepy scene, do you think that young Rhaenyra was I think they call it a glimmer?
Yeah, a glamour, yeah.
A glamour. Do you think that was a glamour, or do you think that was just an illusion, a figment of his mind?
I'm going with the weirwoods and ruined castles cause you to see things from the past, possibly regrets, possibly like other like things that linger in the mind come out when you're in a spooky haunted castle.
I actually had some real crazy bullshit. If y'all want to hear it,
go for it.
I had actually my first thought when that happened was did Simon Strong lace him with weirwood sap or something? Because there was lamp shading that he was poisoned, and then he had this crazy ass dream that reminded me a lot of Dany's dreams in the House of the Undying.
We didn't see the dessert scene where he pours sap all over the ice cream.
Dead ass. I was like, is that what? They were talking about poisoned peas, and he was like, "Why would I poison you?"
But if anyone would have done it,
yeah.
Oh, what's with the poisoning? I wouldn't even. How do you poison peas? They don't even have a taste. You'd know immediately.
Ethan, why don't you give us a final thought or two?
Okay, I guess my final thought will be I hope that we do see Nettles, and I think it's still possible that we do, because the whole idea of Nettles representing the origins of the Valyrian Empire with them being shepherds, I think that's a really cool thing that gives a new perspective on the Dragon Lords and how their interactions with humans. I really hope that they don't cut her completely, but I'm gonna make the hot take that I would actually understand if the role of Dragon Rider companion to Daemon was switched to Rhaena as she is his daughter.
I think this is very reasonable. I've had this thought too. I will be sad not to see Nettles. I think having another regular person in the story is, I think, really interesting and useful as a storytelling perspective. But I think that as long as it's done well, and so far it looks like it is, if they replace most of those things with Rhaena, I don't think that I'll have an issue with that either.
Yeah, I would prefer if Nettles is there, because I agree, the shepherds and the whole mystery of is she a dragon seed, or is this somebody who can tame dragons and has nothing to do with it? And then the guessing who the father or mother would be could be an interesting subplot. But if they feel like they're not going to have time to explore that depth, I understand why they cut the character, because the question mark above Nettles is the most interesting part of Nettles, and if we can't explore that, why have her?
Would you like an extremely fun position?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, last fun bit, okay? I'm wondering if some of that, the ambiguity of, is she a dragon seed, or is she just a person, is the ability to tame dragons not exclusively a Targaryen thing? A Valyrian thing, I should say. I think that may be explored in Daemon.
He might be Dornish.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, where I think it may be lampshade, he's not around, no one really talks to him. He's off with the high yeah, he's off with the high towers, and I'm over here I bet he looks a lot like Kristen Cole.
Be fun.
Wow.
But
and he is sort of a father figure to him at one point. Or at least it's implied.
He's still a dragon rider, which really muddies things up.
Then we find out Kristen Cole is actually a son of Maegor the Cruel.
Oh, man. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, have a
thank
great
you for joining
night.
us.
Man, what good shit. Oh my god. Yeah, so what do you think of that, Zach? What do you think of that's one of my favorite theories I've seen so far. That he's gonna look extremely Dornish. Oh, Kirsty. Okay, I want to talk about that. Kirsty just posted something that I actually wanted to talk about. This is Alice Rivers' actor says, quote, she can tell the future. Has all this power, been alive potentially for 400 years. How do we make her a person with a beating heart and wants and desires? Zach, fuck that tweet. Fuck that tweet, bro.
Yes.
Fuck that fucking tweet.
One, it's not impossible to make her have wants and desires and beating heart. Two, it's also interesting if she doesn't.
Wait. You've come up with new problems. I'm like, this is shit we don't even know about Alice River in the books.
Yeah, okay.
We have no fucking clue who she is. The mystery, a lot of the mystery around Alice Rivers is gone.
Yeah.
The only, literally, the one thing we know about her is that she's scary and stands by Daemon.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we know in the show so far. And in the books, we know a bunch of more interesting things.
So we also know this through a lens of propaganda.
Yeah.
Right? At one point, like, Aemond as and right now as it stands, Aemond is somebody who could end up on the Iron Throne is a very, very likely possibility.
Yeah.
As far as line of succession goes, if you're passing over women, he's next in line. So...
Oh, right, Maelor. Yeah. Maelor isn't a thing in the show.
Maelor doesn't exist. Yeah. So at this point in time, he is next in line. Who he's sleeping with and whether she's a weird witch or not matters a lot from a political propaganda standpoint.
Yeah. Whether she is 400 years old or whether she claims to be 400 years old is a very important distinction, right? We, the audience, don't know that, right? Same thing with Melisandre. We don't, until we get her perspective chapter, we don't know whether she is magic or claims to be magic. And that's important. Unless George tweets out that she's actually,
yes.
Unless George clears it up on Twitter.
Yes.
And I don't want, George, don't do that. I don't want it. I just want let me experience it. You made the thing. I don't need you to tell me about it. I'm going to watch it. Tell me about it after the season's over, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too nerdy about it. I don't know. Jordan says she turned me into a newt. What else did I have? Hang on.
A little bit of an Edward Cullen problem with dating somebody who's 400 years old, though, right? When you're like 20.
Hello, caller. How do you respond to the Edward Cullen problem of dating someone who's 400 years old?
Well, I think that all you can do at that point is, fuck, I was not ready for this bit.
That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to answer this very bad question. Hello, who do we have?
Hi, this is Chables.
Chables, welcome to the show. Chables, I would like you to clear up a bet from last episode.
Okay.
Chables, thank you very much for calling in. Can you, and you don't have to, can you explain the origin of your screen name?
Yeah, I think I can explain the origin of my screen name without doxing myself.
Okay.
So the origin of my screen name is that back when I was in seminary, I was living in a dorm room with someone who had the same first name as myself and somebody else whose first name is one letter off from mine. So we had to get creative with nicknames, and my username is the nickname that we came up with for me.
All right.
Okay.
I think it's a tie.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's a tie.
I think neither of us were quite right.
All right. Perfect. Chables, thank you very much for calling and tell us your thoughts on this extremely good dragon show.
Well, I won't tell you whether these are my thoughts on this extremely good dragon show or whether these are my thoughts on something else, but I will tell you my thoughts.
Yes.
So I thought that all of the nudity was really nice, except for that one part where they go way further than they normally do, which just isn't really what I had signed up for.
They do go.
Did you also watch Showgirls this weekend?
No, that is me cheating. That is a review of the John Waters themed burlesque show that I went to this weekend.
Oh, I know, the random internet guy was in that one too. Holy shit. Oh my god, I like this show. You guys.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. So, Chables, would you like to talk about some of your, like some of your favorites? Any scenes that we haven't talked about yet that you want to talk about?
Let's see. I do have one thing to add to the controversy bit from earlier.
Okay.
So I don't have a problem with anything that anybody else has brought up so far. What I do have a problem with is, at this point, with the Greens in the position that they're in, they sent 3 Kingsguard to walk Alicent to go pray. Seemingly the 3 competent ones, not Aegon the buddies. That seems unrealistic to me.
Wait a minute. Okay.
They might be overcompensating, right? Like they know they screwed it up last time, so they're just like, one person can leave at a time, and we're giving them excessive protection.
Man, if that's their logic, the fact that Rhaenyra just rocked up and chatted with them is even funnier.
Yeah, the fact that the 3 experienced Kingsguard there, and they failed to identify the one person they should really know how to murder is quite funny.
I just want to reference the chat. It says the deep throating more like a painting than a person. Love this fucking fandom. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a very tasteful deep throating scene.
Zach, do you want to talk more? We'll come back to that. Zach, do you want to talk more about Aegon's frat bros? You had some thoughts on it.
I love the changing of guard we're seeing in the Kingsguard, where immediately Aegon's decision making has consequences. Otto Hightower would have never let these frat bros become Kingsguard.
Yeah.
And you're right, we only have a few competent Kingsguard left who are good knights. I've said before, he started the season in an immaculate position as far as staffing is concerned. I believe full-heartedly that as a wise woman once said, personnel is policy. Your decisions of who you put into different positions reflect on what you want to do and how serious you are about it. And putting a bunch of your drinking buddies is the people who are there to stop you from getting murdered means that you're not serious about not being murdered, which is the worst thing to do after your kid was murdered. I think that the idea that there's only a few left and they are constantly being, I think it might even be Aegon saying, whenever somebody leaves, just send as many guards as we possibly can, and we're in a skeleton crew here.
That is a very, like, your first week as the acting commander sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
Okay, well, we want to make sure that nobody hurts Alicent, so just send way more Secret Service than we usually do. Yeah.
100%. And Chables, I want to bounce back to you on this. They're also like just the staggering turnover on the council is another thing that, and Zach, you've touched on this a couple times. We had Lyman Beesbury, we had Tywin Lannister, we had Otto Hightower, we had what's his name? Westerling?
Yeah.
Is it Westerling?
Oh yeah. Where is he been?
Yeah,
He
what
has
the
not turned
fuck
back
is
up
he,
yet.
by the way? I hope he just shows up. I hope he's also one of the sellsword Slater. He went to protect member of the royal family, Laenor Valerian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beesbury mentions. But now the council is not good. And Chables, I want to know how you feel, but staffing in the Red Keep is not good. We've had some turnover.
Staffing in the Red Keep is not good at all. And so to go off of the staffing thing, he just made one of his biggest mistakes in officially promoting Laris.
Yes.
Which I had made a comment to somebody earlier, I suppose yesterday, that with both of them getting their Masters of Whispers this week. Nazaria is an excellent asset to Team Black. She's a really big get for them to have, whereas Team Green is a really big asset for Laris, and that's a really big get for him to have.
I'm sorry, I killed Tom during that.
Sorry, I missed that. Zach did a good joke again. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Chables, one more time. Something about a good asset. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
Can you repeat your last point?
I made the joke that they got their Masters of Whispers after 6 years of studying, and that killed
God
Tom.
fucking damn it. Fucking damn it. That's very funny. Shit. Oh my god.
No, I agree that Nazaria, I can never know if I'm saying the name right, is a huge benefit to the Blacks to have on their side because she understands King's Landing specifically, which is where they need to be scheming. And I agree with you that Laris, this is more a benefit to him. He was already providing information as needed to the Greens. By giving him the power to be Master of Whispers, all they have done is made him more powerful, not necessarily them more powerful. Because they were still getting the information. He was still helping in court. And this is what he was clearly gunning for, was Master of Whispers. Now he's gotten what he wanted. This is like, he will have like J. Edgar Hoover-esque powers to like manipulate anybody who he wants, whenever and how he wants. And yeah, I don't think he is particularly loyal to anybody at all. So I think that Aegon will live to regret not just firing Otto, but hiring Laris and Kristen. I think that's going to be the culmination of this season, is Aegon II realizing he made every worst decision possible in the people he surrounded himself with.
I think that's a really good position. Chables, do you have a response to that, or one final thought before we let you go?
One final thought, not really in response to that, but just going off of that, since Zach mentioned Kristen there with that also being a mistake, I do love that the first shot we get of Kristen in this episode is him also knowing that that is a mistake. He looks like he is hating his new job.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great, where he's just like, where he really has the real solid imposter syndrome look on his face. He's like, oh god, what have I done?
He's wearing the "I really wish I wasn't here right now" button.
Yeah. All right, Chables, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for doing this show. This is so much fun.
Yeah.
Such a blast.
Thank you for joining us.
Good night.
Oh my god. Zach, can we do this every day?
Well, I think we'd run out of things to say about the episode.
That doesn't sound true at all. We haven't done that so far.
We have, okay, we would
come up with new bits.
I think after day 3.
We haven't even talked about the whole episode yet.
What have we missed?
There's hang on, I know exactly what we missed, and I'm stepping away because we're not going to be live for too terribly much longer. What do you think, maybe like 15-20 minutes? Time enough for one or two more calls. And I definitely have some takes that I want to talk about. Yeah, Chables says no one talked about Helena. We're going to come back. Hang on. I am turning the lines back on, and then we're going to speed run some of my takes. Zach gets to read them. Zach, go ahead. Boom.
Why did you complain about revealing information about all servers, but that's not what happened in the episode. That's what happened in the commentary.
Correct. I think the commentary is stupid, and I do not watch it. I get it filtered in through ultra text.
Yes.
I'll take the next one. Is this the first trippy dragon dream since like 2012? Zach, what do you think? Were there any other trippy dragon dreams in?
So this is one thing I wanted to talk about was that the HBO and the showrunners of Game of Thrones were told minimize magic whenever possible. Whenever there is magic, try not to do magic. And then the only things that like absolutely positively could not be cut were like, okay, anything with Melisandre, she's just magic. She has the shadow baby. We can have one person with weird trippy powers. Plus we need her to bring Jon back later. The dragons, the green dreams, and like warging the dogs or the wolves at least in Hodor, that has to happen. And then the others having like a weird king and there being children of the forest. There's not really a ton of magic otherwise, other than No, because even the wall is brought down practically. It's brought down by a dragon. So
I thought you meant like from a filmmaking perspective.
yeah,
it's
practically
brought down
they
practically.
built the wall realistically and then tore it down. It actually caused a magnitude 9.8 earthquake when they did it. They were very sorry to all the people who lost their lives, but
We're very sorry to all the airbud puppies that lost their lives in the snow.
yes, that's what happened. But no, they just tried like. I think in the books the wall's gonna fall because somebody blows a magic fucking horn, which would be way cooler. But they were like, after a certain point there was just no magic, and I think the last really outwardly can only be explained by magic thing I think is right. Season 2, House of the Undying, weird ass dream sequence.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Yeah,
and that was the like last time we got a non like Bran time traveling dream, and Bran's time traveling is just time travel.
Yep. The last time we got like visions that were not I don't know, like speedily obtained was, I think, that one.
Yes.
Hello, you are on the air. We're speed running through my list right now. So I have Kristen leaving King's Landing. Reminds me of Jamie leaving King's Landing. How do you feel about that?
Oh man, I'm pretty sure that watching that scene, Allison was getting the proverbial ick, as people would say. He was like, can I please have the queen's favor? And she was like, oh my god,
my brother.
I was like,
not in front of my brother.
Like, bro, I prefer you naked. Please stop.
I prefer you when you're not talking and you're down on your knees. And
yeah, I prefer you naked and ashamed.
Naked and ashamed.
Who are we talking to, by the way?
That's the name of the stream we're doing next week.
This is Reagan. Reagan coming back.
Good. Thank you for joining us again.
Of course. I'm more than happy to be here. You guys were just talking about the trippy dream sequence, and oh my god, I love Harrenhal. I love scary dreams.
Oh yeah.
I'm so glad that we're clearly set up to get more of Harrenhal. One, because we meet a ton of characters there, and two, because they built a set that looks that nice.
Yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful.
That's the set you build when you know you got a season's worth of content.
Oh yeah.
At least you're gonna be there for a hot minute.
It was so beautiful and dark and scary, and I mean, like, I was watching Michael's video about the Weirwoods today, and I was just like, oh my god, it's just like the roots everywhere. It's so creepy, and I don't know if we know her name. I'm sure somebody knows her name, but she was like, "You're gonna die here," and it was just like, it looked like Daemon had like peed a little bit just hearing that.
Oh hell yeah! Oh my god, it's like this moment of like unbridled fear on Daemon's face. Oh, I believe that. I believe it's revealed after the show that that character's name is Alice Rivers, who is a particularly creepy character from the books, and I'm so excited to see more from her. Her acting appears to be phenomenal. By the way, like top tier scary ass bullshit.
Oh yeah, so scary. I mean, I would say definitely my favorite two moments this episode were like it was almost comedic of like when Daemon comes in and Simon Strong is just like, yeah, dude, welcome. Do you want some peas?
Yeah.
That was great. And
he's like, hey, we just started dinner, but you I guess you're the king.
I do adore that scene. I know you thought him like just barging in there was goofy, but I loved that immediately. He's just like, you thought I wanted to fight?
No. Hey.
Oh yeah.
Him sneaking around with no precautions.
Yeah.
He didn't like.
The scene with Simon Strong was amazing. Everything about it was amazing.
I love the like he is already like accepted the political reality in a way that a lot of the lords wouldn't. And like we see the Brackens and Blackwoods get into an unnecessary pissing match, and he's like, "Oh
Yeah.
no! Like the second you showed up, I knew I was going to surrender to you." Like, I made a lot of extra dinner. Actually, do you want some? Like, it's going to go to waste otherwise.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
guy's a natural.
Reagan, let's bounce back to you on that. What are your thoughts on just the whole of the Harrenhal scenes?
It was beautiful and dark, and watching Daemon just like go through the castle and nobody is there, and he finds the one guy, and his first reaction is just to like hit him real hard in the head. It was just like I was like, I understand. He was like, he knows he was in a horror movie immediately, and he was like, I'm not playing around. And he's like, you're gonna poison me. He's like, no, man, we're having dinner. We're having normal dinner.
Yeah,
and the other strongs that were there, they gave like one good shot of like the three of them, and the look on their faces, I was just like, oh my god. It was so, I love Harrenhal. Harrenhal is so sick.
Just like, what's up, bro? We've been smoking
What's
some
up?
weirwood leaves, and we're hoping to. We've been waiting for you.
The family almost has
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
the like
Yeah.
wholesome family dinner in a haunted castle almost has like an Addams Family vibe to it.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh yeah.
It gave me some Texas Chainsaw vibes.
Oh yeah.
Family,
Right.
very scary family dinner. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it was just, I mean, I can't gush enough about the like set design. I was watching the show that they do, just like the BTS behind the scenes show, and they were like talking about how they were like flooding the whole place, and how Matt Smith was just having the time of his life being soaked in his armor, and I was like, he's really living it up.
Yeah. What about
I feel like Matt Smith
scene,
is
he looks like
having
he's having fun.
Matt Smith is having so much fun, and you can tell. I love him for it.
Jordan says David
mean-
going around the castle like he was LARPing.
Yeah.
It's not LARPing if you really are a dragon knight. That's
Exactly.
Just live action.
That's just playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While we were just talking, I thought of a reason I can justify it. I thought of a reason I can and I'm always happy to do this.
Yeah.
If I can think of a way to justify a character's motivations,
Yeah.
I'm happy to just slot it in. Okay. I think that Daemon is the best. Did I write this down? I might have written this down. I think Daemon is the best bonded dragon rider currently alive.
Yeah.
Right? We see him
Definitely.
when Caraxes takes an arrow, he screams.
Yeah.
Or maybe the other way around. And that was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
When he is threatening those two Kingsguard in episode 10 last season.
You hear the dragon in the distance, yeah.
That's in episode 1 this season.
Oh, yeah.
In episode 10 last season, he's threatening the Kingsguard, and like on command, right, with dramatic tension, Caraxes like crawls up over the top,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Great scene, fantastic. But I remember making fun of it a little bit, where I was like, Daemon, like Caraxes has excellent dramatic timing.
Yes.
Or he and Caraxes are very well telepathically linked. So if that's the case, Daemon sneaking around Harrenhal, he's not alone. His dragon's on the roof right now.
Yeah.
Ready to poke his scary ass head through any of these giant holes in the ceiling and roast anybody who's a problem.
I wonder if the dragon is influencing him back.
I mean,
It's not just that he is
the
influencing the way the
dragon.
dragon acts. The dragon is standing back. Like he has an especially ferocious and fight-ready dragon, and that's what's driving him a little bit. Like it's a symbiotic relationship sort of thing.
I love this as a position.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's come back to that in a minute. Before we do, Reagan, do you have any final thoughts or anything else you'd like to talk about in particular?
Oh yeah. I mean, I saw people talking about being a little mixed on the final scene, and I've got to say that I think it was probably one of my favorite scenes. I mean, it also had one of those little like comedic moments that was almost heartbreaking just to see it like play out on Allison's face when she was like, oh, the conqueror, and like that. But the whole idea that like it sort of, the whole war sparked from this misunderstanding where Allison, at least for Allison, she believed that it was like this misunderstanding where it's like, oh wait, no, Viserys really did want Aegon and not Rhaenyra, and for that to like sort of turn, it absolutely broke my heart. And like I also think one of the things I like the most about Rhaenyra in this show is that I think her flaw is that she is so she's very like pointed about the way she wanted revenge in the first episode, and so she's very like focused on peace and is like willing to backpedal as far as possible, and is like, even after like blood is being drawn by not even Targaryens anymore with the Battle of the Burning Mill, it's her whole deal is just to be like, no, we can fix this, I swear to God we can fix this. And even Rhaenys is a little bit like, I really don't want to have to fight this war, please go talk to your ex, please go talk to Allison, I'm sure she would like reason. And it was just heartbreaking, that last scene. It was, I loved it.
Zach, you want me to take this one?
Go for it.
All right. I think that's a very cool observation, that Rhaenyra appears to swing really hard she swings really hard in one direction and then really hard in the other direction, trying to undo it. And neither of these extreme reactions was the appropriate reaction. What she needed to do was steer a middle course, and in part because she didn't, the war is now inevitable.
Yeah.
And this, like, her conversation with Alicent, I think is perfectly emblematic of that. I thought that her conversation with Alicent, that might be my favorite single interaction between two characters that we've gotten in the entire show.
Well, and it reinforces the like kind of hopelessness she's feeling. Like, she felt like she had no agency, her counselors weren't listening to her, there was nobody else wanted to help prevent the war. So she does the most outright ridiculous and dangerous thing she can to try and end the war directly with a person she believes is capable of ending it. Like, she really does think if the two of them sit down and hash it out, and like Mira said earlier, this is a popular like thing in the discourse, if the two of them just sat down and hashed it out, there would be no war. No, we get the whole scene where they sit down and realize, oh, like, there's actually jack shit we can do to stop the war.
Like, yeah, dude, 15 years ago, maybe. Not today.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, like, I truly believe the way, like, Rhaenyra believes that, like, getting to be able to reconcile with Alicent will just fix everything. And it's like, I've been there in situationships, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and it does feel like it does feel like if you just talk to this one person, you could fix everything. And it's just like, it's just not true. And and it's devastating. And like, I also love how it like, it's immediately clear that Rhaenyra's a little bit out of her depth. Like, she shows up and like Allison's like, what are you gonna do if I scream? And she's like, oh no, I've started this off really bad.
Oh yeah, that's like one of my favorite line deliveries.
Adorable.
Oh, it's amazing. She was like, I've begun badly. Man, the characters in the show are so fucking relatable.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I fucked up the beginning, didn't I? Hey, let me go again.
Hold on, I probably should have pulled the knife on you first.
And they both swore on their mother, like how Rhaenyra swore when she was like, no, I didn't sleep with Daemon, like we didn't even kiss, like I swear on the memory of my mother. And Allison's like, in this last scene, she was like, I swear that I would not lie to you like this, like on my mother's grave. And I'm just like, oh my God, they're really meant for each other in the way that they're just totally out of their depth right now.
This show is so good, and
It's so good.
It's so unhappy, and it's phenomenal. Oh my god! All right. Any final thought? We have a bunch more scenes to get through, and I want to go to bed sooner or later.
Hey, me too. I hope that everyone is having a really good night. I also want to say that Star Wars is really good right now, and if you ever wanted to get into Star Wars, you should watch The Acolyte because there is nudity.
Wow. Okay.
You heard,
I wasn't sold before.
You heard it here first. I guess I have to watch The Acolyte. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great night. Okay.
Have a great night.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Man, what the fuck are we doing? This is amazing.
I wanted to talk about. I have a different take on Rhaenyra's greatest flaw, which is that she walks out on cabinet meetings in the middle of them. We have actually never seen her stay through an entire cabinet meeting.
What?
How many times have we seen her with her small council?
6.
How many times she walked out in the middle of a conversation with all of her counselors?
6. All right, Zach. Let's continue through my talking points. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you think of this one?
Yeah. Look, dude. I don't want to give you shit, but yes, your sister is a military asset.
Look, I know that Bela is like sad that she's going to the Eyrie, and she's like, you only you're keeping Rhaena because she has a dragon, and yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
The one of you who has a fighter jet will be in my Air Force.
Yes.
And the one of you who does not have a fighter jet nor a fighter jet experience will be
somewhere else.
Will be safe from death.
Yes. And Bela, you are now a diplomatic envoy. You're not out of the war. You're still
You're also critically important to the succession. It's something that all the Greens, for jumping up in their place, are going to be punished. They're going to be sent to the wall. They're going to not be in the line of inheritance. If Rhaenyra and all of her kids die, Daemon inherits and then his daughters. You are an important part of the line of succession.
Yeah.
You're not immediately there, but you and those kids need to be stuffed away. So if this war is so catastrophic to kill everybody involved, and it has potential to become that bad, locking away 3 potential heirs to the throne somewhere safe is incredibly important, because both Daemon and Rhaenyra's separate lines and their conjoined line are all in the line of succession pretty high up.
Let me reframe that conversation. Rhaenyra said, "I need you to be a mother to my children."
Yeah.
Which isn't wrong, and that's totally fine, right? And it's very thematically appropriate, with motherhood being pushed on people as a theme in the show.
Yeah.
Right. That's total. But let me reframe that conversation a little bit, okay? Bela, my household, right? The House Targaryen.
Yeah.
We are uprooting it, and you are now the Castellan.
Yeah.
You are the Castellan of my castle, which now has to flee. You are the You are now the captain of Air Force 2, and I need you to be all the way over there.
Yeah, somebody needs to be the person in charge of the bunker people go to not die.
Yep, and you are now bunker master.
Yeah.
That's not important, dude. That's very important.
Yeah, it's not a sexy role, but it is the non-sexiness of functional political systems and functional military systems is something I think about all the time.
Oh,
The best military campaigns are not sexy. The best political campaigns are not sexy. The best whatever organized thing for a large group of people has some fucking nerd in a back room talking about logistics and doing absolutely nothing else.
Yeah.
The
best of Song of Ice and Fire YouTubers. I saw Ian asking for my shirt.
But if you want to look at any army that is won a war where they were not supposed to, it's not because they had the most people with swords. It's because they had a group of nerds sitting in a room making sure that everybody got 2 more swords than they needed. and 2 more meals than they needed.
Yeah.
And 2 more horses than they needed.
You gotta go be a nerd, okay?
You
Go
gotta
be a nerd in the corner, dude.
And also making sure that people who could be used as political hostages were safe, and making sure that alliances to get more soldiers came through. Sitting in the Eyrie with 2 people who could absolutely never become hostages, yourself who should never become a hostage, and the ability to make sure we get like a direct line of communication with a place that can supply us with soldiers. And there's resources in the Vale too. It's not like it's like all rocks and stones.
I have a couple of comments I want to shout out.
Yeah.
First off, April May, yes, this role also comes with guarding the B-52 eggs.
Yeah.
Right? The baby B-52s.
If those eggs hatch, you're going to win the war. Yeah.
Yep. And if the war becomes prolonged, right? If the dragons die but the war continues, we will win because in 4 years we will have more dragons.
Yeah.
They will not have any more dragons. Furthermore, unless they go to the Eyrie, and I think I misspoke. They go to the Eyrie in the book. I believe they are departing from that in the show. They're on the way to Pentos, which is you are a
you were going to Pentos. Eyrie is a separate diplomatic thing. Yeah,
you motherfucker are now like our wartime envoy to Pentos.
You're a Secretary of State.
Yes.
You can get mercenaries.
Yes, it is not. I'm gonna send you a letter 3 months from now and say, hey, will you please bring me some people?
Yeah.
And nobody else is gonna be able to do that, Bela. God damn it. Anyway.
Yeah. The director episodes confirmed that those eggs were Daenerys's.
Why? Why did they do that?
What they should I've confirmed that the people doing behind the scenes content should stop talking.
They really need to. Like, why? Why would you tell me that? Why would you tell me that?
One, we could have a more interesting scene that sets that up. Instead of just saying, oh yeah, those are Dany's eggs.
Right? Like, just like a long hold shot on those eggs with like Daenerys' theme like tinkling in the background somewhere.
What if we like never fully see like a character? We never fully see like Alicent's naked backside, but like we're told in the post edit, she has a really cool tramp stamp. We're not gonna show it, but it's like right, very tasteful.
Right, like after the fact that like, oh my god, Alicent and Kristen had such hot goodbye sex.
Yeah.
Why do we need to know that?
You should have seen the kinky things they got into and all the scenes we didn't film.
Nan says Dreamfire has been robbed. I see where you're coming from. I'm gonna reserve judgment. Until the end of the series. At least until the end of the season. We'll talk more about it. Alright, Zach, I got more. Yeah, this is now 3 episodes in a row.
With a solid snake sneaking scene. No, as I noted, okay, we do get Daemon's solid snake sneaking scene.
Yeah.
We get a notable absence of a better opportunity for a solid snake scene that I wish we got.
That was some Hitman speed running right there. It was amazing.
There was some Hitman speed running where she just shows up in a costume and does the thing. Yes.
Okay, what do you think of this?
See smoke.
See smoke. Let's go.
We hear in this episode that Sea Smoke is distressed. Do you think Laenor died off screen?
No.
I agree. He's Black Trombo.
Correct.
Okay. I'm glad we both still agree on that.
And we're going to have I swear to God, if we do not have a Laenor, like, says goodbye to Sea Smoke, like, hiccup in How to Train a Dragon. Like, if we don't have, like, one of these where he, like, walks up and he, like, pets him one more time, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I'm going to be actually pissed.
Well, yeah, I think, what if the, reason he's restless is because he knows that Laenor's coming back, right?
Yeah, a lot of people have been speculating about this. Yeah.
Laenor will show up. He's like, oh, they call me Black Trombo now. Subscribe to the Interesting Nerd Club as you finish.
Yeah, they were the only ones championing this.
Congrats, you called it, Tom. Anyway, where was that? Is there any favorite post commentary
Who's
scene?
Tom?
Who's Tom? They're setting something up, I guess.
But then in the director's stuff, they're like, Tom from the Interesting Nerd Club speculated on this many years ago. Okay. We do some dragon shit. Zach, read that dragon shit.
I'm in a dance with dragons right now, and Daenerys explains to Quentin some of the rules of dragon ridership. She says that no human has ever taken more than one dragon. She's not explicitly saying no dragon can take more than one human. In fact, she seems to imply the opposite.
Fuck you guys. Fuck y'all. All right. The maesters are wrong. They do that all the time.
We know that dragons take more than one human in their lifetime.
Yes.
Well, I don't think we've ever seen. Have we seen a human bond with more than one dragon in their life?
To my knowledge, and to Daenerys' knowledge, a human bonding with more than one dragon is impossible.
Because we know that when like Targaryens die, they inherit dragons.
Yes.
But I don't know if we've ever had somebody's dragon die and then they just get a new one. That's one entire reason why Vizzy T didn't have a dragon. Balerion died.
Yes. But like, it appears that dragons get new riders when their connection with their rider is severed. I've seen absolutely zero problem with Seasmoke taking a new rider while Laenor is alive. Right? It is never. This does not appear to ever explicitly happen in any of the books or shows. But we've also only met like 25 dragons total. Right? Like how is that situation? That situation cannot be common.
What if there's a dragon ownership love triangle?
Unironically, I've thought about this. I mean, like, what if it becomes a problem?
Yeah, what if Laenor shows back up?
Yeah, Laenor and Redacted like have a problem because Laenor is like, this is my dragon.
Dramatic, put the dragon in front of them and see which one it walks over.
What else do we have in here? Oh, yeah, this is... I thought about that. This would also imply that dragons can be stolen. Yes. Which would have interesting implications from the rest of the series, because we suspect that dragons can be stolen. April says, does that mean Laenor just got killed? It better not.
It could be a possibility, but it would be lame if he just dies off camera.
Yeah, it better not. 1 out of 10 show.
If he shows up as a mercenary in disguise and gets his revenge, like I want him. I agree. Him being Black Tromba, I'm getting a chance to get some revenge on some people that have wronged him without any spoilers would be incredible. It'd be if you keep him alive, there better be a damn good reason. I've heard people say they just didn't want to kill off another gay character. I'm like, this show chews through people like flies and has like pretty good representation of every group of people. I don't personally blame this show that has to kill off probably most of its characters by the end of it.
Yeah.
For killing off a character who happens to be gay, because it's going to happen.
Yeah. And when the Blackfish dies, it's not going to be because he's gay. It's going to be because he's there.
Yes. when Satin dies, it's not going to be because he's gay for Jon. It's
going to be because he's fell on him.
One of the two. If they just killed him, if they just spared him from his canonical death for no purpose whatsoever, I do consider that bad writing. You can't Chekhov's gun a person with a distinct personality and then be like, oh, the gun fell into the water.
And like on top, the other side of this, right? The opposite side of this argument is you have like the juiciest, crunchiest reveal ready to go.
You set it up.
Chamber.
You set it up way down. You called your shot. If you don't do it, that is so pointless.
You made all the casual fans cheer and all the book nerds lose their shit.
Yeah.
You got the crunchiest fucking reveal in the world when this man comes back.
Nobody wants Laenor to die off screen. That is the dumbest thing you can do.
Yeah.
Because everybody who knows basic writing knows, oh, you're setting something up so it can pay off later. And there's a million interesting ways that can pay off. The only way that's not fun is he died off screen.
Yes. You know what could be interesting, right? And this would suck, but there's something that you could do with this, where like Seasmoke has been like panic flying all around. If he's panic flying with like the corpse of Laenor tied to his back or something like that,
or he fishes Laenor's dead body out of the water.
He's hunting for Laenor.
It's still underwhelming.
Right, depending on how they do it, it could be fine. but that's not what I'm looking. You guys like it's so crunchy. It's so juicy. What are you looking? What you fucking waiting for? Oh my God.
You get a big you've watched the Pirate of the Caribbean movies, right?
I up until 4. Yes.
That's the correct way. The end of the second one where Barbossa walks just back in and says, "How's my ship?" Like, you lose your shit.
Yeah.
And like it's perfectly fine lore wise for him to be alive because he was a ghost anyways. So like him coming back and just being part of the story is fun. And then Laenor could just pop back in. It's like, how's my dragon? Yeah.
Yeah, like casually saunters back in. He's like covered in like rings and like sellsword tatters, and he like fucking Roggy big dicks it up back into the room. He's like, "I'll see smoke." Yeah. Ross asks, "What are some existing Chekhov's guns in the books?" And we do not have time for that. We're gonna have to do that next week. Let's table that for next
Chekhov's
week.
gun in the books is going to be every first 10 chapters of the Winds of Winter. Every character 1 of the Winds of Winter is going to be somebody about to pull the trigger on Chekhov's gun, and then every 2 for each character is going to be bang.
Yes. Zach, Aegon has a suit of Valyrian steel armor.
Yes, he does. And
It's
the Conqueror's armor,
yeah,
they say.
That's fucking baller. That's so cool.
Now, what the fuck happened to that armor?
I don't know. Isn't this an interesting question?
Because like
that's really useful.
Yeah.
Just
all through Game of Thrones.
Who has the armor, Zach?
Oh, there's no way that the Valyrian steel armor that Euron Greyjoy has is Aegon the Conqueror.
It's the only one that we know of. Even then, it would have cost a kingdom. I mean,
what if? Oh yeah, because we already know they're sending they're gonna have mercenaries. They're gonna have people back and forth from here in the free cities. It's possible that through if when the war gets into its desperate period, that the armor gets pawned off by somebody who gets it, and it ends up in the free cities.
Yeah.
After all, Targaryen stuff pawning off in the free cities. The crown of Dany's mom is pawned off in the free cities.
Oh my fucking
There's
God.
clearly a market for Targaryen shit across the narrow sea.
I can shorten this chain of custody. I'm gonna get a little bit spoiler. We're near the end of the stream. We're gonna get a little bit spoilery now. If that's not your jam, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. But we're gonna we're not gonna spoil major plot beats, but we're gonna get a little spoilery. Later in the series, the Pike gets involved. The Iron Islands get involved.
Yeah.
Daemon Greyjoy raids through the Westerlands, and Tywin Lannister dispatches a large percentage of the crown's gold to Casterly Rock, which then gets sacked.
In a selfish move that backfires, yes.
Yes. So maybe that piece of armor is among that tremendous wealth, because that's so valuable. Maybe that is a part of the things that gets shipped to Casterly Rock, and then Daemon Greyjoy fishes it up out of the sea, and it's like a Greyjoy heirloom for a few years.
It's sort of like Minnesota has, I forget which state it is, they have a flag they got during the Civil War, and every time the state asks for it back, it says, "No, we fought and beat you and won." So
this is ours.
It's ours. It's like the crown. Every time a new Greyjoy leader is born, it's like, "Please send back the armor," and it's like, "Piss off! We stole it when we beat it in the war. It's ours now."
Oh shit! I just saw Dalton. Is it Dalton Greyjoy? Oh shit! Was I wrong on the internet?
I think it's Dalton.
Oh
yeah.
fuck. But yeah, I thought you were going in the direction of that sword on the Iron Islands. The Red Rain. That one the one dude stole from the Castameres. Hell yeah! Oh my god,
Yeah.
absolutely. And many people, and I don't necessarily agree with this, but many people suspect that Euron is just a bag of tricks. That he's not actually magical, he's not mystical, he's not anything like particularly interesting. He's just a fantastic stage magician.
He is a person who has learned how to seem like he's magical.
Yes.
I think that'll be difficult when he summons Cthulhu in the Winds of Winter. But
Yeah, that will be unassailable after he summons Cthulhu, but he hasn't summoned Cthulhu yet, so that theory still has some merit. And this could be one of the things that adds to. Also, this is interesting. In an Alt-Shift-X discussion, Daemon's helmet is also Valyrian steel, which I did not know. That's pretty sick. It's also probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want...
Valyrian steel's, like...
It has no give at all.
Well, also, even if it was really good, like, it's good for making a very sharp sword, which is a different, like, sort of good than... When a helmet, you just want it to be sturdy, right? It doesn't actually matter if you use the finest materials as long as your skull doesn't get caved in. You're better off using Valyrian steel for a weapon 100% of the time because it's for one, probably the sharp. If we're going for Damascus steel, the sharpness and that it won't shatter into a million pieces, and two, you want to make sure that it has magical properties for Valyrian steel, like we know Valyrian steel has a magic purpose. Is he gonna headbutt another? Like, especially if Daemon knows the Song of Ice and Fire, if that was passed on to him by somebody. If that's a Targaryen secret he was looped into.
If he gets looped in on that later.
Oh, cool. I know how.
Boom! I mean, that is pretty funny.
Immediately, I want that scene.
Okay, what else do we have in here? Aegon's frat bros. Okay, yep, we're a little spoilery now. And this, I think, is my coolest take on this so far. We got Ulf the White.
We did.
This episode.
He's not played by Bob Odenkirk like I wanted, but he's...
That was such a good... That was a good casting.
But the person who's cast is very good. So I'm enjoying the character so far.
It seems to me that Ulf is kind of a swaggering jerk.
Yeah.
And he appears to be siding with Rhaenyra because of the rat catcher incident. Right, he's kind of a jerk, but that doesn't mean he's a bad person.
No, I think that he's just like your drinking buddy who can be kind of a dick, but also kind of fun, right? Like
everyone seems to like him.
Yeah, and because he has Targaryen blood, he has opinions about the crown because he knows, like, well, my existence means I can't not have opinions about the crown. If the crown is out there whacking rat catchers because there's one bad rat catcher, how are they going to feel about bastards of their own dynasty?
Yeah.
Because, as this other show points out, having a bunch of bastards of somebody who just recently died or somebody just recently died is usually bad for those bastards.
It's bad for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
He seems to be a very politically savvy commoner, which is an interesting character to have a small folk bastard of a royalty member who understands court politics better than all of his small folk drinking buddies.
Oh, April May says Ulf is like Daeron the Drunken. That's a fun. I like that. That's a great comparison. Ulf the White, equals the White Wolf. My God, this fandom is amazing. I love you guys so much.
Ulf is pro Rhaenyra because he does not seem like he's particularly trustworthy of Aegon II. And I think he's implicitly pro Rhaenyra.
And right, like when he was in that tavern, he kept on saying the one true queen, the true queen Rhaenyra.
Oh yes,
yeah, which is an insane thing to say in that basement if you don't believe it.
Yes.
I mean, I guess it could be a joke.
Well, also, I feel like politically, if Aegon is trying to cement his rule and Rhaenyra really needs allies, she's more likely to be forgiving of a bastard, which is the correct political calculus, as I think, spoilers, we might see soon that she will make the correct calculus that, the Targaryen bastards are probably good allies.
Yeah, they're okay. So, this is what I want to talk about. We saw Ulf, and we saw Hugh last episode, maybe 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
And Hugh seems like a totally chill guy.
Yeah.
Maybe even a nice dude. At least on first.
He's a dad.
Like a family guy.
Yeah.
He seems really nice, actually.
He seems like he's a skilled worker. He is clearly just a professional who lives in King's Landing. He's like a rare view of like a almost sort of like rising middle class.
Yeah.
He can hold court with the king. He talks to people who are professionals. He has a particular skill. He is able to like take care of, to some extent, his ailing daughter until the food starts to run a little bit low. Hugh's your daddy.
All I want for Christmas is Hugh. So yeah, he seems like a very reasonable person, and I like that take. He's like a rising professional, right? He's a
Mira, nobody is stopping you from calling in again.
yes, you can call it. Yeah, you can call it again. Absolutely. Mira will probably be our last caller. How do you feel? This is for people who haven't read the books. This is very different from both of their characters in the books.
I always felt like because they're almost spoilery, because they're not exactly aligned with either faction perfectly in the narrative arc that we get, that they were more likely victims of propaganda than anybody else.
Yeah.
And
all right, here we go. Hello, I sure do assume this is Mira.
Yeah, you know my area code by now, right?
Yes.
Welcome back to the show. Oh no, we just had Michael. Oh no.
There are roots in the walls, Michael. Yes, there
Roots in the walls.
Wait, what did Michael say?
Roots in the walls.
No, before that.
Roots in the walls.
No, I just got here. I got to call in.
We'll
extend it. We'll extend it so you can call in after Mira.
Yes.
Well, Mira, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, I was just popping in to hang out.
Sure.
Do you want to talk about Ulf and Hugh?
Yeah,
Because
I really do.
I want
I
to
really
actually
wanna talk
pick
about
people's brains about this. They are legitimately, they might be my two up there with, like, I enjoy Nettles also, but the Dragon Seeds have always been the most interesting part of the characters that dance with me. I loved their characters in the it reminds me so much. There are periods in history where, like, people who are nobodies get a ton of prominence because the circumstances that lead you there allow some particularly persuasive and politically important nobody to rise up the ranks quickly, like a Rasputin, or somebody of that sort. There's some people who rose up the ranks insanely quickly in the Soviet Union as well.
Stepton Barth is a great example.
Stepton Barth is another great example. Historically, you get like Gerald Ford, who's a random congressman, through a bunch of shenanigans, end up becoming president, even though he never fully recovered from playing football without a helmet.
Harry Truman, similarly,
Harry
sort of
Truman,
accidentally became president.
He was a haberdasher. He all these people who, like, just through a confluence of crazy events, end up in a position of power more important. And Hugh and Ulf are some blacksmith and some drunk who end up being two really important pieces on the chessboard.
Yes.
Spoilers.
Yeah, we're in the spoilery section, okay?
Yeah. So I got from Ulf, I got the impression of like kind of a Mordred character from King Arthur, that like his mom obviously knew that Balon was his dad, because he's not like, oh, I think I'm a dragon seed. He's like, no, like, I am Balon's son. So I think his focus is transmuted like from his mother, being raised and not being like the focus of his childhood. I can't remember, did Hugh hasn't like acknowledged anything about being a dragon seed, right?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious about that. And like, speaking of the dragon seeds as well, we have Adam and Alan now, and they seem to be like kind of aware. They seem to be halfway in between Hugh and Ulf.
Yeah, where they at least know that their relationship with Corlys is beyond just, oh, he's you're his favorite employee sort of thing.
Yeah, they certainly seem to suspect that they have some.
We don't know who our dad is, and Corlys has always sort of been incredibly nice to you.
Yeah, Corlys sure does hang out a lot and look like us.
For the empty hole in the void of father we don't have. For a mother who doesn't seem like she was poorly taken care of. So the math has to work out like that might be my dad.
Yeah. Whereas Ulf, Hugh doesn't seem to have any of that.
What if we find out that Hugh and Ulf are like brothers, and that Hugh is like trying to downplay it because he doesn't believe it, right? Like mom said we're dragon seeds, and one brother believes it, and the other brother is like, mom's full of shit.
Oh, and that would be a cool kind of mirror to what we're seeing with Adam and Alan, because like Adam seems to be really pushing it, like, oh, you should hang out with Corliss, and Alan is like, leave me alone, let's go eat some stew.
You know, I kind of like that, actually. I kind of like that just generally. That's kind of fun.
That also explains why Ulf and Hugh were like so tight historically, and that's the one thing that, like, if they were both just super ambitious, why were they like, you know, their ambitions would have gotten in the way of each other, right? You would think. Why would Ulf be cool with Hugh's ambitions and Hugh be cool with Ulf's ambitions if they were just two schmucks who happen to be somewhat related? If they're two brothers, hell yeah. I'm gonna stick with my bro here.
Man.
And so like Ulf can be trying to build on Hugh's like good reputation as like a guildsman and like an upstanding member of society. So, you know, he's like, hey, I know you're having money troubles and the king screwed you over. So, you know, I have a plan and I need your respectability to get me there.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and then he's the more like straight-laced, grounded brother, and then Ulf's the one with his head in the clouds of like, you know, we got dragon's blood in us. There's a lot of opportunity out there for us. And Hugh is not sold at first. He was like, you want me to pack up all my things and go to Dragonstone on a presumption that we'll be welcome and part of their plan? And then something terrible happens in King's Landing and Ulf shows back up. You want to reconsider my offer? Sort of like conversation.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Yeah. Well, but the other thing I liked, because Hugh's hair is like white, but Ulf's hair is kind of gray, and he said, oh, well, like we're half brothers. I also thought that was interesting with Adam and Alan, that Alan, when we see him, his head is shaved. I'm not mixing them up, right?
I don't think so.
No.
I believe Adam is bald.
No, I think Adam has the dreads and Alan is bald.
Alan is
now
bald.
I have to double check.
Alan is the first one we see because my brain did the Jurassic Park 3. Yes.
Alan.
Oh yeah.
Alan.
Yeah. Adam is so hot. I just want to highlight that for
everyone in the show is preposterously attractive.
Yeah.
Everybody in the show, yes, but Adam especially. Adam is my favorite.
Good take.
But so, you know, there was, I think it was maybe not a bad move to give Rhaenys the white, silver Targaryen hair for season 1 to acclimate the show people. But I do kind of like the idea of Adam naturally having black hair, you know, that like dragon seeds or like people with Valyrian blood don't have to have the white hair.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. You know, we bought you back in with the silver hair, but you're gonna have to stick around for like discussions about genetics because that's a lot of what this show's about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
it's genetics combined with family curses.
Yeah,
like
magic
less,
genetics.
Well, that also, if they do bring in Nettles, that'll add to the mystery of like, well, she doesn't have white hair. Well, neither do Corliss's kids, and they're very, very unambiguously Corliss's kids.
And neither does Daemon, who is unambiguously Viserys' kid.
Yes.
Wait, I thought you said he was Kristen.
Oh,
well, that would be what people would be saying.
Yeah, Allison would be denying very heavily that it's anybody but Vizzy T's.
Obviously, this is Viserys.
Well,
she doesn't want to be a silent
but I
sister.
had this horse, you guys, and my horse ran away.
Have I told you guys an anecdote about a horse? Have we discussed animal husbandry lately?
Mira, his name was Tyrek.
Mira, I'm letting you go so that Michael can call.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Hi, Michael.
Bye.
I like this show. We got such good friends, man.
Michael, please call in and talk about Weirwood.
Oh my god, you have like 5 minutes.
You have more than 5 minutes
You have
to
like
about Weirwoods.
3 minutes.
You have 5 minutes to start calling. If you don't, we're gonna get upset.
Stop calling, stop calling. I don't want to talk. We have to record with Viper after this.
Down on the dance floor.
Stop telephoning me. Stop telephoning me. Stop calling. Stop calling.
I don't wanna talk anymore.
Michael, is this you?
Yes, hello.
Welcome to the show.
Did I miss any fun discussion about Harrenhal and the weirwoods
Yes.
growing out of the walls everywhere?
We did. We discussed how it's scary and beautiful, and I've been brought around on Daemon's sneaking scene.
And we talked
Yeah.
a lot about the trees. I knew the second I saw that scene of like, there's gonna be a new Michael Talks
Oh
About
yeah,
Stuff
that's
video.
I did the same thing. I was
And
like,
then I
Michael's
watched-
gonna love this shit.
And then I watched your video, and I'm like, there was a new Michael Talks About Stuff video.
Oh my god.
Yep. It had to be after that. I was so jacked when I saw, like, he's way up in the top of the tallest towers at Harrenhal, and then there's just roots growing everywhere out of the walls, poking out everywhere. It's great.
Yeah. The first thing that it reminded me of was like heating pipes. We've discussed this with respect to Winterfell before, that Winterfell may be laced with like pathways for water to move through to keep the walls warm.
Yeah.
Is Harrenhal laced with magic? Is Harrenhal laced with magic wood?
I mean, basically, or like even Winterfell could have weirwood roots running through the walls in a similar way that just pumps hot water from
Goddamn
the hot
right.
springs. Yeah.
Woo!
Question:
Yeah.
Is Harrenhal a treehouse of horror?
Technically so, yeah.
That's our
I
show,
think so.
everybody. Okay, all right, Michael, give us your Harrenhal. Please give us your Harrenhal takes.
Okay, so, well, yeah, first of all, the biggest question, I think, is, well, first of all, the take is that it was awesome. Definitely my favorite part of the whole episode was everything that happened at Harrenhal. My biggest question at this point is, okay, are all of those roots coming from that one tree down in the Godswood? Or are there, like, other trees sprouting inside the walls? Are there trees built into the walls? Or are the beams that were used in the construction and then partially burned now able to take root? Because a bunch of people have been bringing up in the comments, okay, well, some trees, like burning is just part of their life cycle, and then they respawn new trees. Other trees, if you put a branch into water, it will grow roots. So we don't really know how weirwoods work, but I could see either the burned beams or like these beams that are covered in blood from all the people who died at Harrenhal could all, grow new roots. So
Yeah, I like that one a lot, actually. That there's a lot of nature being taken over by humans imagery in A Song of Ice and Fire, and there's also a lot of imagery that is the opposite. And I think that like nature reclaiming human desolation is a common theme in post-apocalyptic literature, and Harrenhal, I think you could safely call post-apocalyptic. Those beams, after Harrenhal was burned and after humans stopped like maintaining the walls and keeping the mortar up, those beams became a new weirwood system that grew out through the walls.
What if that is something that like grow, like what if there are weirwood roots under like a lot of places, and like bloodshed will get it to grow again?
Whoa! That's good.
Maybe there was just a regular sized weirwood at Harrenhal until everybody died there, and the blood sacrifice allowed it to grow out. And that's like, it's almost like an Audrey 2 situation now, where now it has like a taste for human blood, and that's why Harrenhal is so tragic and cursed. it's because literally there's an evil magic plant trying to kill you so it can eat you.
What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's pretty much what we saw.
What the fuck?
Harrenhal is cursed because a tree wants to eat you. Yeah, no, I buy
Yep.
that.
Yep. Yeah. So
Oh
I think
my God,
that was the main thing I wanted to say is how did the roots get there is the big question, and there are a few different fun answers.
Yeah, there's always been there, and Aegon when he burned it was like potentially damaging it, potentially like taking one of the oldest and most powerful weirwoods and doing some damage to it. There's the idea that it was just a regular weirwood and the like desolation there caused it to grow, or there's just it was a weirwood that got missed out and it's growing into the ruins because there's nobody there to tend to it or stop it, and because it rains like crazy there, and then like it was just a regular plant that grows that way. Those are all possible answers.
Or like dozens or hundreds of live weirwood saplings were baked into the construction of Harrenhal.
Yeah.
Which would also be awesome.
Because that means that it had a reason for doing that. They intentionally put as many weirwoods in Harrenhal as they could.
And like why?
I think that could work because the entrance to Bloodraven's cave, which is magically warded, is between two weirwoods. So you go through the weirwoods and it's like the barrier of the ward. So I kind of think that inside the super thick walls of Old Winterfell and the super thick walls of Storm's End, there might be weirwoods like in a ring that would cause the magical ward, especially at Storm's End. So if Black Heron figured out some like green magic construction methods that maybe haven't been used since Bran the Builder, and then was planting live weirwoods in his super thick walls, that, would cause it to be a magically warded structure and would kind of paint Heron the Black in a different light if he had like some secret knowledge that hasn't been seen since Bran the Builder.
And this would jive quite nicely with the idea that there's weirwoods inside the wall, which also function as a giant ward. Yeah.
And that makes Heron the Black look like he was scared of some magical thing coming to kill him. And also, that also explains why he thought that he was immune from dragons, too, right? Ha! I have an anti-magic castle.
Yeah.
Your dragons can't burn me. To only realize that no, the dragon fire is a very practical, non-magical thing. It's the psychic bond with dragons that is any sort of magic that we've determined. They are a real thing. It's the bonding with them that is magical. That's fascinating, because that means Heron the Black was not just being a pompous asshole when he said, "You can't take my castle." He had damn good reason to think that.
Yeah.
He had the only magic-proof castle in all of Westeros.
Except for Storm's End.
Maybe.
Yeah, or at the
maybe Storm's End has weirwoods in it. Who knows?
That's what I think. And I think he learned that there were weirwoods in the walls of Storm's End and probably Winterfell on some level, and then was like, hey, I'm going to do that too, potentially in like preparation for like the Long Night. Like maybe Black Heron knew something about the Long Night, did the same thing, and then this also sets up dragons as a potential foil to that magical barrier, which in the show we saw a dragon burn the wall down. So maybe that's something
dragons are an anti-weirwood weapon.
Potentially.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Come back to that in a minute.
No wonder we get the "you'll die" here. The weirwood's like, no, dragons are showing up? Fuck no. Kill these fuckers.
All right. I have what I think might be an interesting... oh no, it slipped away. It's gone. Okay.
Sorry.
Suppose Heron the Black.
Spoilers. What if during the Battle of...
God damn it! It slipped away and I got it back and you're going on a different bit?
Yes.
God damn it.
What if during the battle over the God's Eye, the two dragons are circling each other and we think they're about to take each other out, and then the tree shoots up into the sky and starts like shooting branches at them?
Tree uses Vine Whip. And
weirwoods just start pulling them out of the sky. Yeah.
Oh, it's a Trevenant.
Yeah.
Okay. So Heron the Black discovered some construction method. These construction methods were pioneered by not Bob the Builder, Bran the Builder. The other
Bran the Builder.
He presumably wrote these things down, and Harren read them, which had me have this like small in-universe heartbreak that the writings of Bran the Builder were likely lost at Harrenhal.
Oh.
However,
Oh yeah.
they could also be in Roderick's library at 10 Towers.
Oh yeah. Because
Which-
if they were taken by the Ironborn, they stayed
Yeah.
on the islands, maybe.
Yeah. Because why would, he doesn't need to keep them there. He's like, it's at the end of the construction process. You don't need them anymore.
You just go to 10
Yeah.
Towers and they have every like magical artifact that's ever existed, and like they don't even know how to use it because it's like, magic, that's pansy. Like, I walk up on a boat and kick the shit out of people. Why would I use magic? It's like you have like a chalice of immortality here. Oh, who wants to drink?
What
out
is
of
this Greenlander shit? No, I drink from the sea.
They've got just this giant library that none of them can read, but they just stare at them as like giant trophies. Like, yeah, the entire collected works of Bran the Builder, the only copy in existence. Oh, what does it say? I have no idea.
Michael, do you have any final takes before we let you go?
No, I think that was the main one.
Thank you very
We'll have
much.
to chat more about it soon.
Hell yeah!
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining us. Michael talks about stuff, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.
Holy shit. Zach, I think that's probably our show.
I think
That's
so.
probably pretty close to our show. I'm just gonna scroll back
gonna-
a little. We have, oh my.
I'm gonna
holy
speed
shit.
run through the bits I have left.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna look for some fun comments. Thank you to everyone. Also, I want to point out that we see this really interesting like arc in viewership over the course of our streams, where you can see that we have the North American cohort,
Yeah.
and then the Australian cohort starts to come in near the end of the
Yes.
stream, which is really
All
fun.
the Americans are like, oh, they're still going. And all the Australians are like, oh, they're still going.
Yeah.
One of them is going to bed, and the other's pouring a cup of coffee.
Holy
The scene with the far-flung stranger eating dinner was very good, and I'm looking for more of these characters. I really love the setting and the weird, trippy style of it. The strange characters make this story way more interesting. The fact the murder mystery seems irrelevant is an interesting twist.
Give me the first bit again.
The scene with the far-flung stranger eating dinner was very good, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of these characters.
I see that you have been watching The Last of Us.
No, that is actually about the House of the Dragon episode. But I did write it so it kind of sounds like Twin Peaks.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a fun one.
With the slow and meandering pace, this piece of media.
Hang on. We have to trade off, okay?
Sorry.
Wait, hang on. I saw a good one. Yes, yeah, there might be a weirwood cave under the castle in the abandoned quarries where captives died during construction. What a fun theory that is. That's from Kevin. That's a
good
very
one.
good and very fun. All right,
I like
Zach,
it a
keep
lot.
going.
With a slow meandering pace, this piece of media was largely an excuse to build up the final scene. The fight scene near the end clashed tonally with the rest of the story, and was ultimately pointless because nobody died. There were hints of a long-term rivalry that would have been interesting to explore, but too much focus is given on a character who does not want to be involved in any of this. There's a character with an eye patch who looks pretty cool but doesn't really do anything.
Zach, I didn't know you felt this way about Game of Thrones Season 8. Read it again.
Don't need to. That's also all true. However, that was my review of the Garfield movie.
Oh, nice! I almost guessed Garfield for your Inside Out. Okay, what else do you have?
Well, it did.
Oh, wait, hang on. Jordan says, will Rick Moranis be in episode 5? I like that. That's very funny.
I have 3 more. We'll run through them all.
My God, I overslept. It's lunchtime. You're still going.
I'm saving the one for last that you can immediately cut on you laughing from.
Okay.
So we'll get to there.
Sure.
Well, it did have one of the most inspired gay romances of all time. This piece of media takes a previously fun and sympathetic main character and ruins her by putting her in repeated political scenes that are boring and do nothing but waste the viewer's time. There's a surprise closed-door meeting with a friend turned political rival that serves as the climax, but I could only think back to a more interesting previous installment where someone's hair was crucial to solving a mystery.
Airbud 5.
No. This is my review of Legally Blonde 2, Red, White, and Blonde.
You had never seen Legally Blonde 2 before?
I'd never... Are you a Legally Blonde 2 expert?
I have seen it many times, yes.
How do you feel about the gay dog subplot?
It's
the only part I liked, actually.
I don't think I've watched that movie in 15 years. I have watched Legally Blondes more recently.
Legally Blondes?
Legally Blondes.
Is that the third one where there's the two of them in the boarding school?
Yeah, where there's the twins, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I adore the first Legally Blonde. It is the most, like, tragic trilogy of all time. That there's one really good one that, like, lives up to the name. And then Legally Blonde 2, it should be called Lobbyist Blonde. She's not even doing the law. She's lobbying the whole time. Okay.
You were proud of that joke.
I hated that movie. I watched that movie. So
tune in for a Legally Blonde speedrun. Jason Chable says, "Will Frank Oz be playing Grover Tully?"
Yes. It would be so funny if the Muppet Tullys were just played by puppets and nobody.
Yes, just nobody talks about it. I also had this thought, and it's just one that's so bad. We haven't seen River Run yet. It's just walking their actual Muppets.
I would be so on board.
Oh God, this is gonna be. I'm so excited for this to be an SNL bit like this winter.
This story contains a ton of stealth and easily passes the Bechdel test. The main character works with a trusted advisor with a satisfying accent and disregards all advice given to her by advisors to avert a disaster that will lead to at least one civilian death.
Say it again.
The story contains a ton of stealth and easily passes the Bechdel test. The main character works with a trusted advisor with a satisfying accent and disregards all advice given to her. I don't know why I said advisors. I cut that part. To avert a disaster that will lead to at least one civilian death.
Is this like... I'm feeling Jason Statham.
No.
Is that okay? All right.
It has the plot of what will be the greatest Jason Statham movie ever made, but it's before he was a famous actor.
Okay, this is pre-Jason Statham.
And it's a lady in the lead role.
Is this like a Hitchcock?
No. This came out in 2000 and was way ahead of its time and is aged beautifully.
2000 is not pre-Statham, is it?
It's before his super popularity.
Fine. Yeah, accept this. This is a 2000 movie?
Yes.
I thought we all agreed to skip it. Just that whole year.
This movie is aged beautifully. I watched this. It was...
Did you watch The Matrix late?
No. That's really good. I come up with a new thing of movie marathons where you watch movies where the Rotten Tomato scores add up to 100% instead of watching a movie that's 100%.
Yes, I love this, and we're doing this in the video.
This is our Halloween bit for this year.
Yeah.
Is we're going to make a movie marathon that equals 100 of Halloween movies.
Yes. Yeah. Hang on, I want to explain this on camera. Okay. This is your idea. You do it.
The movie, by the way, is Miss Congeniality, which is incredible, and I love it a lot.
Okay.
What we watched was...
I want to point out that Michael just confirmed that he's watched the Airbud video.
Yeah. That slide with Santa and the dog both slowly dying.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's the reason I wanted to do the Airbud video in the first place, is to get to that particular joke.
Holy shit.
We were losing our mind realizing that was the plot of the movie at 3 a.m. when we just wanted to go home.
Because this is Greg. Greg.
Yes.
I don't actually know who this is. This is just a random kid I found.
Oh my god. Miss Congeniality. So Legally Blonde 2 is like I think a 36 on Rotten Tomatoes and deserves to be significantly lower than that.
Okay.
Miss Congeniality is a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes and deserves to be like double that. Like 82 would be great. It is aged incredibly well. It treats all the characters with respect. It's genuinely funny. Michael Caine's character is incredible, but Michael Caine can't not play a great character. There's never been a movie where like, oh, Michael Caine really phoned it in. This doesn't happen. I think it's Sandra Bullock. I'm bad with actor names. She does an incredible job as the lead and is really fun. It does not deserve a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes. Y'all are wrong. It was also super gay positive for 2000. It is not aged poorly in any way. It's not like grossly sexist, nor is it homophobic, and it deals with both of those very well. Then we had 23% left, and I was like, what? There's no way you can find a good movie that's 23% Rotten Tomatoes. Then we watched Showgirls, which I think might be one of my top 5 movies of all time.
What?
It's incredible.
Okay. All right, Zach.
It is wrongly maligned.
Carry us on.
Yes. I have one last review that I wrote here for something I watched. What am I correct about? Miss Congeniality or Showgirls? The correct answer is both, Mira, but I went on here.
Oh my God, Michael says, I just imagine Joffrey looking at the Hound and saying, there's no rule that says a dog can't play basketball. Yes!
Mira, I'm glad it was both, because that is the correct answer.
Holy shit. Okay, keep us going.
Zach, we have a whole video to do after this.
We do have a whole video to do after this. What is this a review of? I'm disappointed in this A Song of Ice and Fire show, which I've been watching since 2022. The minds behind it went off the rails in the newest episode and expect me to buy an absurd premise that includes a secret meeting and has serious implications for the season finale.
Zach, you don't need to shit on our show like that.
Yeah, that's a review of our most recent
Let's
episode.
go! Yeah! Yeah! That's the show, everybody! Thank you for coming! You are all wonderful. We're switching to this. Oh, by the way, big ups to Yggdrasil, friend of the show, Yggdrasil, for drawing this phenomenal vampire and then letting me use the vampire just because I like it.
Just repeatedly.
Yes!
It's so good.
It's so much fun. Zach, this was supposed to look like, I don't know, like an ad for this cup.
It does. It does look like something I could buy.
Yeah. Holy shit. Oh my God. Zach, I really like that last bit. That was really fun. Oh my God. Friend of the show, Yggdrasil. Go check them out. They're amazing. They let me use their art. And I'm in love with this vampire.
I'm a very good vampire.
So deeply in love with this vampire. And it just feels so bland about Nan says, not gonna lie, I do want that mug. Oh my God, me too. Holy shit. Maybe we'll sell it on the Nerd Store.
Perhaps, yeah. I think that'd be a fun one.
Holy shit. Oh, thank you guys. Oh, you're wonderful. This is a dead sexy vampire. Alright, I'm gonna mute the stream. I'm gonna leave it up
Dude,
for
the Kyber crystal bleeding is in Star Wars. I know about Kyber crystals.
Look, we can't start a Star Wars lore disco. We already went off the main screen.
The only Star Wars stuff I really know outside of the main movies and like the 2D animated Clone Wars shows is Knights of the Old Republic. So if it's not in Knights of the Old Republic, I don't know it. And I didn't play the MMO Knights of the Old Republic. I just played 1 and 2, which are really good. And I think Ian's still here. He has been talking about doing a coder video. I'm so excited to hear somebody talk about Knights of the Old Republic. I can talk about it for hours.
All right. Now I did just say we're not doing Star Wars lore.
Oh, now we're talking about Star Wars lore for an hour, just while the vampires on screen.
Jackie says goodnight, Viper. Good night. Good night, Michael. You guys are wonderful. Goodbye, Mira. I like our friends. We have good friends. We can't start a Star Wars stream.
Tom, right?
Yeah. I'm muting the stream.
So,
Goodbye.
in Knights of the
Goodbye.
Old